Hi everyone. Hello, good afternoon, this beautiful afternoon. Good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon and welcome to day one of B.I.G Conference 2026. Good afternoon, Wisdom. Hi, Okelgene. Hi, Divine. Hi, Chooks. Hi, Ochuko. Hi, David Bassi. Welcome. This is the day we've all been waiting for, and we are ready to get started. Our speakers are ready to speak to us, and of course, I want to believe that you are ready to learn from the speakers. Quick check. This is the time to get your notepad. This is the time to get your pen. This is the time to get your bottled water. This is the time to get your snack. This is the time to get your power bank by your side. You don't want a situation where midway into today's session, your phone is showing red, and then you have to quickly go and look for where to charge, right? So get your power bank, ensure that you have a stable internet connection. If you already know that you are using a particular network that goes on and off, this is the time to get a plan B so that when one network disappoints you, you have something else that you can turn to, right? So, quick check, I have said get your notepad, you want to get your notebook and your pen, you want to get your water. It is very important because this is going to be a very long ride. So, we're going to be together for the next 2 to 3 hours, 3 hours in fact. We're going to be together for the next 3 hours. So grab your water. If you have a snack, please get your snack. Get your popcorn, get whatever snack it is that you would need. Then get your power bank. You want to get a power bank. All right. So those are the things that you would need right now. So really very quickly, can you get to share with me in the comment section? I would like to know what your expectations are for today's session. What are your expectations for today's session? Please drop it in the comments and I would like to read from you. All right. So just drop it in the comments and I would like to read from you. Why am I not seeing your responses in the comments? I want to know what your expectations are from today's session. Remember that this is day one of B.I.G Conference 2026. So, what are your expectations? I'm asking now because I would like to know your expectations so that at the end of the conference, at the end of today's session, we can now do a comparison. We can put it in a tabular form and then we'll check, okay, these were your expect or this was your expectation, and now this is the end of day one. Did we meet your expectation? Was your expectation met? Did the speaker get to address the questions that you had in your heart? So drop them in the comments. I would love to read from you. I would love to read from you. Hi, I'm seeing a couple other persons that have joined in since I did not get to say hi to. So hi Chooks, hi Etama Voro. Forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Please forgive me. Hi Peace, good afternoon. Hi Okel Gene, good afternoon. Hi Innocent, it's so great to have you here. Hi Sarah, hi Ogenetega. I'm still waiting to read from you. Hi Samuel Doja. I'm still waiting to read from you. So please drop in your comments what your expectation for today's session is. What are your expectations? You came on this call or this meeting. You joined this meeting because you had an expectation. There's something that you're looking forward to get. There's something that you're looking forward to learn. There's probably a question in your heart that you need answers to. So tell me in the comment section so that we will look at this thing together. Then at the end of the session, we would now assess to see whether or not this expectation has been met. Okay, so Innocent is saying that he hopes to learn and acquire practical knowledge about growth and the prerequisites it requires. This is amazing. And you are going to get that knowledge. That practical knowledge that you need about growth, best believe you're going to get it. Wisdom is saying he wants to learn the best way to position himself for opportunities. Amazing. This is the perfect place to be. If you have any friend who you know registered for B.I.G conference, now is the time to send them a quick reminder. Hi, are you in the meeting already? Have you joined us on YouTube? You don't want to miss this for anything. Please send your friends a reminder if they've not joined us yet. Your friends that you know registered for the conference. Farida is looking forward to learning from the speakers, meeting new people, gaining fresh perspectives, and hopefully leaving the conference inspired with something practical that she can apply. You would definitely leave with a lot of practical things that you can apply because in today's session, let's not even talk about tomorrow. In today's session, there's just going to be a lot for you to practically apply. So, yes, get ready for that. Chooks is saying he's expecting to get enlightened about what the program is all about and learn how to improve his career and business. Okay, Blessing is saying my expectation is to maximize everything that will be taught in the meeting and become better. Awesome. Boy Digital is saying a stability to what life brings. Sarah is saying, my expectation today is clarity and also learn from the experience of industry leaders. Amazing. Hi, Vibrant Glory. You're welcome. All right, so quickly, I would like to get to know where you are joining us from. Can you please just drop what you're joining us from, the exact location you are joining from in the comments? I would love to read from you. Where exactly are you joining from? Are you in Warri, Delta State? Since we are going to be having tomorrow's session in Delta State, are you joining us from Edo State? Are you joining from Lagos? Are you joining us from Ghana? Are you joining us from the United Kingdom? Are you joining us from USA? Where exactly are you joining from? So I would like you to join to just add the city and states. If it is Delta State, I want to see Warri Delta State or Asaba Delta State or Ogara Delta State. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Chief Favesy, expectation is to become better than she is. Collins is to begin, amazing, love it. Collins decided to give back to us what the BIG in BIG Conference stands for. It wants to begin, innovate, and grow. Shadrach is joining from Fupri. Fupri is in Delta State. Chief Favesy is joining from Lagos State. Emmanuel is in Enugu. Wisdom is in Bayelsa. Chukuyem is in Warri. Chooks is in Airport Road, is at Airport Road. Farida is joining from Abeokuta, Ogun State. Peace is joining from, okay, your expectation is to learn from industry leaders. Amazing. Samuel wants is joining from Warri. Maro is joining from Warri. Innocent is joining from Lagos. Ogene Tega is joining from Ugeli. Collins from Warri. Gishuals from Warri, Together Forever from Warri, Michelio is joining from Edo State, Blessing from Warri, Sarah from Warri, Chidera Warri, Stella Kwale Delta State, Mofiwe Warri Delta. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I trust that the weather wherever you are right now is pretty favorable and the weather is not going to disturb your internet connection because I'm seeing a lot of us are joining from Nigeria and there's this thing with weather and internet, but I'm praying for you right now. I'm praying that the weather is not going to disrupt your internet, and just like I mentioned earlier, please have a backup internet plan. If you're using MTN, you want to have a backup. Any of the other communication platforms, any of the other, what's it called now? Any of the other internet connection platforms, you want to just have a backup plan, right? All right, amazing, amazing. So you're going to do something for me. Throughout the session of today, we would have times when I would just come on and say, B.I.G Conference 2026. I want to be sure that we have the same energy and the energy has not gone down. I want to be sure that we are on the same pace, right? So I want to be seeing your fire emojis in the comments. And as much as I'm seeing your fire emojis in the comments, one other thing I would like for your response to be is that we begin, we innovate, and we grow. Remember that BIG stands for begin, innovate, and grow. So when I come on here and say BIG Conference 2026, I want your response to be we begin, we innovate, and we grow. Did you get that? When I say B.I.G Conference 2026, you go say, we begin, we innovate, and we grow. Now let's go. B.I.G Conference 2026. I'm waiting to read from you. All right, I'm seeing your fire emojis. I'm seeing your powerful emoji. Okay, Bridget is joining from Warri. Right now, I want to see we begin, we innovate, and we grow. B.I.G Conference 2026. Amazing! We begin, we innovate, and we grow. That is why we are gathered here today. We are gathered because we want to begin, which was starting with the conference, and then we would innovate and we would grow. Thank you so much for indulging me. All right, so right about now, we are going to have our convener, our powerful convener who has gathered all of us here today. Do you want to guess who that is? Do you want to guess who that is? Who has gathered all of us here today? Who has convened this powerful conference? So we're going to have our convener come up on stage right now, and she is going to give us a welcome address. And this is no other person than Jane Agadia. Please put your hands together for her as she comes up on stage. Please put your hands together for her as she comes up on stage. Jane Agadia, our convener, is going to be giving us a welcome address. Thank you so much. It's so great to have you on our screen and to see your beautiful face today. You're welcome, Jane. The floor is all yours.
All right, thank you so much, Tola, Lady Tola. How many of you lost Tola's energy? Please, if you love her energy, let me see your comments on the chat. Like, I'm really feeling the fire from her. This is our moderator in fire. Um,
All right, so while we're waiting to get Jane back on stage, we would. Okay, are you back now?
yeah. All right. Please confirm you can hear me clearly.
Okay, so we begin, we innovate, and we grow. We will just hold on for the next 1 or 2 minutes while Jane gets back on stage. But in the meantime, I see that some other persons are just joining now. So I would like to hear from you. What's your expectation from today's session? What are you hoping to learn? What are you hoping to get from today's session? I want to read from you in the comments. A couple persons have shared theirs earlier, but I see that some persons just joined us. So please share with us in the comments. What do you hope to learn from today's session? Why are you here? Why are you here? As I say this right now, there's a particular sound that's playing in my head. Do you want to tell me you don't know why we are here? So please tell me in the comments. Why did you join today's session? Why did you register for the conference? What are you hoping to learn? Please drop it in the comment section and I'm going to read from you. Ruma is saying Tola for energy. Thank you. Please clock it. Clock it for me. So I'm going to read from you. Yes, yes, yes. It's Jane. It's Jane. No other person than Miss Jane. Miss Jane is the convener of the B.I.G conference, and this is the second edition. We started last year, and this is the second of many more to come. Many more to come. But I want to read from you. If you were not here earlier when I was asking about the expectations from the conference, I would like to read from you. So, what are you expecting to learn? What are you expecting to get from today's session? Please drop it in the comments. More knowledge on growth and leadership. Amazing. All right, Jane. I see that you're back. So please go ahead, Miss Jane.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Apologies for the technician, the technical issue. All right, I'm really excited to be here. I'm glad I can see the numbers increasing. So, like Lady Tola said, please share the link. Your friends are registered. They didn't just register for tomorrow, for Saturday. It's also today is also a main day. We have amazing lineup of speakers for you today, and we're really excited. So, a couple of weeks back, someone was asking, what's the meaning of Kaizen? Kaizen, it's a Japanese word, Kai and Zen. So I'll just share that briefly for my introduction. Now, Kai, it's Kaizen was formed from two words. Like I said, Kai and Zen. I'm trying to put up my slide. Okay. All right, so I'll just run through this briefly. The theme for this year's conference is Kaizen, like I was saying earlier. So, all right, please, I want to see that we are still sharing. Drop your emojis in the chat. Still keep on being excited. Oh, like I was saying, Kaizen was formed from two words. Kai and Zen. Kai means change, then Zen means something positive, something good, something for the better. So now, this concept came to my heart. I didn't get the word exactly Kaizen, but what I was going through a season last year where I was feeling a bit pressured about my journey. I felt like, oh, I wasn't achieving as much as I should achieve. And most of us are Christians here, so me, I'm not ashamed to talk about God. So yeah, I was going through that season, and it was more like God brought my attention to process like you are going through a journey. You are going through a journey. So you should not be looking at other people's journey. You should focus on your own. There's so much noise out there. There's so much comparison out there. But then you should focus on your own growth and the steady steps you take day by day. So Kaizen means change, and Kai means change, and Zin means better. So this just tells us the general changes, the small steps, the little growth, and it's just the steady steps you take every day towards personal improvement. So for this year, we want you to rethink what growth looks like. So it's not that you are rushing, you're not rushing through life. You're not rushing through life. It's a journey. We want you to understand that life is a journey. The fact that some people are just jumping through it, like trying to hurry through life, it's not the same with you. You get, so the focus is for you to become 1% better every day. Just think of how you can build habits, daily steps, decisions that you can make daily that would lead to a cumulative larger results in future. So that's what we are trying to pass across to you. And we don't want you to go ahead with the crowd that wants to just make it quick. They just want to get rich quick. Those things of, okay, there's frauds, there's so many things, so many vices these days. But we just want you to focus on your growth and your journey. So we have amazing speakers, like I said, and this is me welcoming you once again to day one of this session. Yeah, I was trying to manage my time. Well, sorry if you could not hear me earlier. So I'm almost done. But yeah, my time is up due to the network issue earlier. So today, while the speakers will be coming up, I want you to just settle down, get your notepad, get a journal, like the moderator said. Make sure your internet is good. Make sure it's good. So you listen, you ask questions. We have amazing speakers that are here to attend to your questions. So reflect, ask questions, take notes, and leave with something, an action point, something that can make your life better. All right. So once again, welcome to day one, and I hand over to our amazing moderator. Yeah, let me bring her up stage.
Thank you so much, Miss Jane Agadia. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for blessing us with that. All right, so we are just about to get started, and in the next few minutes, we would have our first speaker come on stage. But before that, I want to do a quick check again. Have you taken your notepad? Are you with your notepad already? Are you with your pen? Have you gotten water? I don't want you moving about. While I understand that this is not a physical class where I can see every participant, but I can see you. I can see you where you're sitting right now. So I don't want you moving about so that you don't get distracted. You know, it's one thing to get physically distracted, it's another thing to even get mentally distracted. So while we're still trying to manage mental distractions, I don't want you to get physically distracted. And one way to get physically distracted is to be moving up and down. So I don't want you moving. I just want you to sit still. I want you to listen so that you don't miss out on anything that will be shared today. Are you ready for our first speaker? Are you ready for our first speaker? Are you ready to learn from our first speaker? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It looks like you guys are not ready. If you're not ready, I'm just going to tell our speaker to go and chill. I'm going to tell our speaker to go and chill and tell him, see, our participants do not want to listen today and they are not ready. Are you ready? I cannot see that you are ready. I'm waiting to check in the comments. Okay, okay. It looks like some of you are ready. All right, Mara is active. Amazing. Okay. Okay, love it, love it, love it. So quickly, I will just share something with you. You see, in sessions like this, when we have conferences like this, there are gatherings like this where we have speakers coming to teach us, we're learning from their wealth of experiences and all of that. One thing I want you to pay attention to is this. As much as you are going to be learning actively from the speaker, as much as he would be teaching, as much as they would be teaching, I want you to also pay attention to the things that you would catch. So when you learn like this, there are things that you would be taught based off of what the person is saying, and there are things that you would also catch that the person is not necessarily from what the person is saying, but it would just be a pointer to maybe an experience that you have had in time past, and you'll be like, oh, so because of this thing that this person is saying, now I know that this particular experience that I had before, this is how I should have done that experience, or this is how this thing is supposed to work. So pay attention to the things that you would learn, and also pay attention to the things that you would catch. Okay, now let's quickly get ready for our next speaker. We are going to be having our next speaker, and it's a person of Mr. Great Owete. And Mr. Great Owete will be speaking to us on the future of work, how to stand out in a competitive job market. As we get ready to invite Mr. Great on stage, I want to share a bit about Mr. Great with you. So just pay attention and listen. Just stay with me. Mr. Great Owete is a consultant committed to shaping a better future for Africa. He is passionate about youth development, public policy, leadership, and governance, and he is working to transform the quality of life in cities and towns. With about a decade of experience in human capital management, Mr. Great has honed his skills in talent acquisition, talent development, and advisory services. He is currently the team lead, recruitment and youth engagement programs at Allen and Grant, a premier consulting firm delivering innovative HR and enterprise solutions to results-driven organizations across diverse sectors, including financial services, education, manufacturing, telecommunications, technology, oil and gas, government, health, hospitality, infrastructure, and more. Beyond professional expertise, Mr. Great is dedicated to raising the next generation of effective leaders and building a pipeline of future public leaders for Africa through the Early Leaders Fellowship. Mr. Great holds a bachelor's degree in sociology and a master's in managerial psychology. He is also a graduate of the School of Politics, Policy and Governance, and an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, CIPM, Nigeria, and the Institute of Strategic Management, Nigeria, amongst other professional affiliations. Mr. Great is a fellow of the Legislative Mentoring Initiative, LMI, where he was awarded the Diplomat of the 2025 cohort. Put your heads together, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring on stage Mr. Great Owete, where we get to learn from him on the future of work and how to stand out in a competitive job market. I can't see you clapping, though. I can't see you clapping. Put your hands together as we welcome Mr. Great. Mr. Great Owete, thank you so much for honoring our invitation. We are so glad to have you with us today. The
Thank
mic
you.
and the floor and the stage is all yours. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Aditola. I appreciate your kind gestures. I don't know if I can get a feedback that you can hear me and I'm audible. Thank you for the invitation, B.I.G team. But I just need to get that feedback that I'm audible, and then I can just proceed. But I just want to be sure that somebody can hear me. Okay, so I have a slide, but I need to confirm that you can hear me before I go ahead in my presentation, so I can judiciously use the time that's allotted to me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you clearly.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so I have a slide, but first of all, I want to appreciate the entire team for inviting me. second time in a row, right? Jane and the entire team, thank you. I mean, somebody used to say that if you are invited for an event to speak for the second time, it means that you did something well the first time. You did something well the first time for you to have been invited the second time to facilitate. And so I don't take it for granted that I am invited to share a few of my thoughts, right? Thank you, guys. I hope I can share this. I hope this is the right way to share this. So I actually have been invited to speak on the future of work, how to stand out in the job markets, right? How to stand out in the competitive job market. Very interesting topic. I mean, when I was told that this is a topic, I saw sort of something in me, jumped alive, and I felt okay. This is something I can relate with, and then I will be able to share, a few of my experience, right? How do I now move the slide? Okay. So who is Great Owete? I just think it's important that you sort of know who Great Owete is. I spent the last decade of my life working around human capital development. And what that means is everything that has to do with helping people become better and helping organizations become better has been the core, of what I've been doing in the last 10 years. But 7 years within that 10 years have been spent in human resources. And so I'm that guy that organizations always call when they are looking for talents, right? When they are looking for the kind of people, the right people to work within their organizations or to fill their critical roles, right? So I've spent 7 years of my life in human resources, always helping companies look for talents, right? And that's why I said that this topic is a topic that that is attractive to me. I feel like I have something to share. But a bit of my story, which is critical because you are going to learn a few. I'm going to pick my lessons, from my story, is that I started my journey studying sociology in Delsu, graduated in 2015. But Delsu was an incubator for me. Delsu was a place where I had to go through my ups and downs and had to mature into becoming who I am today and then who I'm growing to become. But by the time I was leaving Delta State University in 2015, the critical question that was before me, which obviously is a question that everyone who is leaving the university always tend to ask themselves, is where do I work? Seeing that I have now studied sociology, I have a grade, I have a certificate. Where do I go from here? Right? It's a big question, a $1 billion question that every penultimate or final year student would always have at the front of their mind. Right? This question was a question that bothered me because I didn't have an idea of what I was going to do. Having gotten a degree in sociology, I didn't have an idea of where I was going to work. Right? And so, just like every other person, I went to do the compulsory NYSC program. Right? I think it was at the third 2 months to my POP, what they call personal parade, 2 months to my leaving NYSC or finally telling goodbye to NYSC. I knew I had to come up with a plan, right? What was I going to do after NYSC, right? I need to figure something out. I need to have a plan for my career. I need to have a plan for my life, now that I'm done with school. And then just so you also know that in Africa, right, when you finally graduate, there seems to be like a big expectation in the hearts and in the minds of your parents, your peers, right, or your friends or your family, right, as regards what you should start bringing home, right? They spent a lot of amount of money sending you to study biochemistry. They spent money sending you to study, pharmacy or whatever you studied. 4 years, 5 years, some cases 6 years, right? And then immediately you are done with university, right? Your parents are already thinking, all right, what are you bringing back home? What exactly, when should we start expecting something from you, right? So it was something that it's a normal pressure that you get to face, right, when you are, leaving the university. And so when I was about to round up my NYSC, I took out a sheet of paper to ask myself certain questions around, okay, so young man, what are you going to do after now? So I took a sheet of paper. I asked myself certain questions around what are my skills, what am I interested in, what am I passionate about, what have I done in the past that that I could sort of build a career on, right? And so because prior to that time, all my time in university, I was either volunteering for one organization or the other, but I was always traveling, I was always managing projects, I was always, working on something for an organization. I spent a good number of my time on campus volunteering for organizations and doing projects. And so I figured, okay, I have some skills. Let me write those skills down and then maybe begin from there to connect the dots forward or backward, whatever be the case. But I knew that I had to come up with a plan. And so by the time I was done, I had a few skills and interests and things I was passionate about. I wrote that down. And then I did something very simple. I took those things and I put them on Google. And I asked Google a simple question, right? Recommend career path for somebody who has skills in A, B, C, and D. I put all of those things together and Google recommended for me public relations, human resource management, leadership consulting, right? So those were my top three when I was leaving NYSC. I had top three career paths because looking at all of the things I've done in the past, looking at what I was interested in, looking at my skills at that time, right? Google was recommending that I could pursue a career in public relations, or I could pursue a career in human resources, or I pursue a career in leadership consulting. I was very big on leadership. It was something I was very passionate about when I was on campus. And so those were the big things, my top threes when I was leaving NYSC, right? So just follow me. I'm telling you a story because it's going to now feed into my lesson for this course, right? So when I was leaving NYSC, I had these three in mind. As a matter of fact, my top number one on the list was actually human resource management, right? So I left NYSC with a list of job I was looking for. I didn't want to leave NYSC without having sort of like an idea of exactly what I was looking for. So when somebody asked me, so what kind of job are you looking for? Because many of us make that mistake today, right? You say you are looking for a job and they ask you what kind of job you are looking for. You can't actually say something very clear. You are not coherent around the kind of job you are looking for. And I didn't want to be in that situation. I've never wanted to be in that situation. I always want to have an idea, of where I was going to before I move out of my current stage. And so I left NYSC with a list of jobs. Ranking top for me was I was looking for a job in human resources. I wanted to start my career in human resources. And if human resources doesn't work, maybe I can now fall back to pure public relations. I was very good, with communications. I loved communicating. I loved the things around, speaking and all of that. Consulting was also another option, but for me, top of the list then was human resources. I wanted to do HR, right? So I left NYSC and I got into my city of Lagos then, and I started looking for a job in human resources. Now, this is where the story now becomes very juicy. Spent a good number of months looking for a job. I couldn't find a job. But while I was looking for a job, I'd spent a lot of my time reading on anything. The moment I told myself this was what I was going to do, I was following people who were already doing human resources. I was reading a lot on human resources on the internet, and I was volunteering. So as I met people, I attend events almost on every weekend. I was always attending one HR event or the other. It's not now that most of the events now happen virtually. Then most events used to happen physically. So you would have to pay your transport, go to that event, meet people, tell people about yourself, tell people what you're interested in, all of that. I was doing a lot of that. And then, but I don't go there as an attendee. If I see an HR event, I would volunteer. I would reach out to the host to say, I want to volunteer for that HR event, either as an usher, either anything, but just put me in that room. I always want to be in that room where HR people are congregating, right? So that was how I got into, the community. I was now soaking myself into everything that has to do with human resources, right? At that same time, I now started a master's in 2017, started a master's in managerial psychology, which was very close to HR. As a matter of fact, all of the things we were doing in that master's program was human resource related, right? So it was in my master's program, 2 months or 3 months before the end of my master's program, something interesting happened and helped me land my first job. So because I was still very big on volunteering, I didn't have a full-time job. So I was spending my time volunteering, and just moving about, helping people and helping organizations. So I used to most times volunteer with HR people to sit in interview panels just to see how, HR is being done, interviews is being done, recruitment is being done on a large scale. And so in 2017, there was a particular group assignment we were given in class, right? Please follow this story. There's a particular group assignment we were given in class. So the assignment was we were shared as a class into different groups, and then each of those groups were given a task, and then you are going to send one person to represent your group to do that presentation of that assignment. And so I was in that group, and everybody was running away from doing presentation. Somebody who loves presentation, I volunteered to say, you know what, I'm going to do presentation on behalf of the group, right? So that day came. I did a slide, put up a slide together, put together a slide, and then that day came. I did that presentation. You know, the lecturer kind of loved it. Everybody in the class loved the presentation. And immediately after that class, somebody walked up to me, introduced himself as the head of recruitment for a particular bank. That was actually the first organization I worked with ever in my life. The person introduced himself as the head of HR, so the head of recruitment, and then asked me, oh, where do you work? I like your presentation. I love the way you shared your ideas. I love the slide. I loved everything about you. I love your energy. Where do you work? And at that time, I was looking for a job. And so I introduced myself to say, you know what, I'm looking for a job in HR. I was very direct. I was looking for a job in HR. I currently do not have a full-time job, but I've spent a few months volunteering for HR projects and all of that. The guy kind of liked me and then invited me to the office the next week. And so I went to the office, met with him. That informal conversation turned into an interview. And then some of his team members came into the room, just spoke to me for a few minutes, and then told me, you know what, we have a space which we did not advertise, but we think you can do it, right? We think we like you and we want you to resume. And that was how I got my first job in HR in 2018, right? My first job in HR was in banking, you know, in the head of, in the head office of a bank doing HR. You know, that was how I got my first job. Why did I tell you this story? If I was going to start this conversation, if we're having this event in, say, 2018 or 2019, maybe the first thing I would have been telling you was that if you are a student, I would have been telling you while you are in school, do a lot of things, prepare to get a job before you get out of school, right? But this is 2026. The first thing I would tell you is that phrase will change. I will be telling you right now to stop preparing to get a job. Instead, start preparing to become difficult to be overlooked, right? If it was in 2018, I would have been telling you, oh, spend a big amount of your time on campus preparing for the world of work, preparing to get a job and all of that. But 2026, I don't think that's the way I'll put it. 2026, I'll be saying stop preparing to get a job. Actually, what I'll be saying is start preparing to become difficult to overlook. The reason is because the world of work has changed. The job market is no longer the same. How I got into the world of work in 2018, right, is totally different from how the world of work is at the moment. So I'm going to ask a question. If 100 persons apply for the same job that you are applying for today, and 80 of them or 90, between 70 to 90 of them have the same degree that you have the same personality that you have the same certificates that you have, what is going to make you different? What is going to differentiate you? Why do you want the employer to finally choose you? If every other person who is applying for the same job you're applying for have the same certificates, have the same kind of degrees that you have. So what I'm trying to put before you in my introductory speech is that your degree is no longer good enough. It's good as a starting point, but it's not a differentiator because the world of work has changed. How we see work and how we do work 10 years ago is totally different from how we do work right now. How we did work 10 years ago is totally different from how we do work right now. Employers are now more interested in what you can do than what you actually studied. That's the first dimension you should understand of how the world of work has drastically changed, right? So I'm going to move on right now from my story. I want to show you the 4 things that I believe can make you stand out, right? These are the things that I've learned in my career journey in the last 10 years. 4 things that I believe can make you stand out. If you consider my journey, if you consider the lessons that I've picked up from my journey, and I want to share that lesson I want to pick 4 things that I've learned from my journey that can actually make anyone stand out. Because over the years, I have moved from one level in my career to another, and I believe that this lesson counts for you. Number 1 is decision. That's a very critical thing. Decision. The truth of the matter is that you have to decide today, what do you want to be so good at, right? That's why I said earlier that you should stop preparing to get a job. You should start preparing to be so good at something. Because at the end of the day, what the market now values, or what the market now consider as valuable, is competence, is skills. What exactly are you good at? I know you can have, just like me, options. Oh, I want to do PR, I want to do HR, I want to do this. You can have those options, but at the end of the day, you will still have to zero in on something to say, okay, I want to be so good at this thing. You have to make that decision. You know why? Because it is that decision that now becomes that creates the foundation of the next thing that you are going to do, which is building competence. If the market now compensates value, what it means is that you have to transfer that desire to be good at something into competence, right? And competence simply means that what exactly have you done, or what can you do, and what have you done over time? What can you do and what have you done over time? And competence can be built from internships, from volunteering, from freelancing, from projects, from entrepreneurship, from community work. And all of these things do not need you to have finished university before you get competence. So what I'm trying to put to you is that you can actually make a decision to be good at something and begin to pursue that decision, because the proof of desire is pursuit. The proof of decision is pursuit, right? So I said I want to be so good at A. I pursue that thing through internships, through volunteering, through freelancing, through project, through entrepreneurship, through community work, right? But that's not enough. It's not enough to be good, right? The next question you need to ask yourself is, who knows that you can do that thing that you are very good at? It's not enough to be good. Who knows that you are good? It's very important. Because remember, my story is that I actually volunteered to give a presentation, which was something I was good at, right? Or that I love doing. I decided I wanted to be good at, right? That's just one example. I volunteered to give a presentation in the classroom. Somebody saw me giving that presentation and liked it. And that was how the person offered me a job. So you can have that competence, but if nobody knows you have that competence, nobody is giving you a job. Proverbs 22:29, seeth thou a man diligent in his business, he can stand before kings and not before men. Now, the key word here is seest thou. If the man is not seen, if you do not see the man who is diligent in his business, he may end up becoming small until we see that man that he is diligent in his business. So don't take away the place of visibility. We need to see the man that is diligent in his business. That's why we can bring him opportunities. That's why we can offer him something else. That's why we can bring him bigger things. But if we don't see the man that is diligent in his business, that man would as well as be diligent in his business and will forever be small, or forever be plain small, or be average, right? So the most important thing is that as much as you are good at something, don't just be good at something. Ensure that people within your community, people within your environment, people within your industry knows that you are good at that thing. And that's when they can bring the opportunities to you. But this is also very critical. The first point that I know that will make you stand out is adaptability. You know why? And that's going to lead me into talking about what exactly the future of work is that you must find a way, you must build a personality around being able to continuously improve at what you are good at. Because whatever you are good at, right, it's not your best. Whatever you know how to do right now, it's not the best, right? You are not at the best right now. You are not at the best potential that you can actually exhibit. And so you must have a way of continually adapt to the trends, to changing nature. And this leads me to talk about what exactly is the future of work. I'm going to touch about the reason why I added adaptability to this is because the future of work is not about artificial intelligence or technology. Most times when people hear the future of work, what comes to mind is, oh, technology, oh, artificial intelligence, oh, AI, oh, this one, oh, that one. Those are part of the future of work, or those are the fruits, or for lack of better word, those are the effects of the future of work. The future of work is not artificial intelligence or technology. The future of work actually is about change. The future of work is about improvement. The future of work is anything that helps people and organization achieve more results in less time with less resources. I'll say it again. The future of work is about anything that helps people and organization achieve more results in less time and less results, or with lesser results, or lesser resources. Anything that helps people achieve more results with less time or less resources. That's what actually helps people. That's what led to artificial intelligence. That's what led to technology. Is that people and organizations are always looking for how to get more things done faster, or how to get more things done with cheaper amount of money, or how to get more things done or more results in less time, or in less resources. And that's why they are creating technology. That's what helps us. That's what forces us to develop new skills. That's what forces us to adapt to new work environment. Remember that many years ago, remote work was never a concept. Many years ago, work was a place you go to. Your father woke up in the morning and said, I'm going to work. It was a destination. But today, work is not a destination. Work is what you do regardless of where you are, right? And so the reason why we got to that point where we can say, oh, there's now what you call new work arrangement, is because people are looking for how to get more results with less time and less resources. So we don't have to congregate into a hall before we say that we are in the office, or before we say that we are at work. Work is anywhere work meets you, right? So the future of work is not necessarily about artificial intelligence, even though that's part of it. Is about, we are always looking to improve and become better and achieve results with less time and less resources. When you think about the future of work that way, it will not box you into a thing, it will box you into a mindset, right? It will help you see that, okay, so if the future of work is about achieving more results in less time and less resources, what it means that is forcing you to think of how to develop new skills, right? It's forcing you to think of how to continuously learn new things. That's adaptability. To always see that where you are is not enough, what you know is not enough, right? You must always know how to solve problems, and to do that, you are collaborating. So it forces you out of your comfort zone to solve problems, to collaborate with others, and continuously learn new things and improve and get things done. So the future of work is not actually a technology. The future of work is a person who can learn fast, who can adapt fast, and who can create value. And what is value in this sense is achieve results, less time, less resources. That's why adaptability here is key. You must find a way, including once you make a decision and you are competent and you are visible, don't stop there. Always continuously improve. Always continuously improve, right? So 4 things as I wrap up. 4 things, if you are going to stand out, I encourage you to pay attention to these 4 things. If you are going to stand out, number 1, learn fast. You must have the ability to learn fast. And let me give you an example. When I say learn fast, for example, take a course. Maybe you're taking a course in public speaking, for example. Oh, I want to be good with public speaking. Learn fast. Find a way to learn it fast, right? Because there's no time. The next thing you need to do is practice. Learning is not enough until you start practicing it. So practicing regularly may mean have a time in a day. Oh, you are learning public speaking. Have a time, a calendar, a timetable in a day, just the same way you did when you were in school. You have a timetable for every course that you are doing that semester. The same way, if you say you want to learn this skill, have a timetable where you are taking that course. Have a timetable where you are practicing. It's not enough to just sit down and consume. Do the action, like practice. Find a time in the day where you are rehearsing yourself. You are rehearsing words, you are rehearsing presentation. Record yourself as you practice. But when you practice, go beyond practice, right, and apply. Apply is putting something out there that you can get feedback from. For example, organize a webinar. You are learning public speaking. You started practicing in your room, right, in front of your mirror, public speaking. Now organize a webinar. This webinar, you are the speaker, right? You are speaking because you want to now test the things that you have been practicing in the face of the public. Or you organize a competition, a speaking competition, a debate competition, and then you are applying yourself to that. I'm giving you guys practical example of the work cycle that I think would help you stand out, right? Learning fast, practice regularly, apply yourself. And the last is, as you apply yourself, take feedback, right? The feedback you get is you show the world, put it out there, show the world, document it document the outcome on your CV. But most importantly, and this is an assignment I'm going to give all of us, ensure that everyone who is listening to me have an active LinkedIn account. This is not something you should take passively. Have an active LinkedIn account. Very important. Don't just have a LinkedIn account that, you just go there once in a while. Have a LinkedIn account that is active. You are putting out things that you are doing or you are learning on LinkedIn. Just build it. Don't bother about the likes. Don't bother about the follows. No, just have something documented on LinkedIn about what you are doing or what you are learning, right? I believe that if you learn fast, practice regularly, apply yourself through something in public, show the world by documenting it, on social media, on LinkedIn, right? The critical thing is, the final thing is that you need feedback. Growth need feedback. Small steps, small improvements, steady growth need feedback. Have someone in your life who is giving you feedback. You see, there's no growth without feedback. If you do all of these things that I've mentioned here, but there's nobody giving you feedback on how to improve, you will not improve. You cannot be the coach in your own game. You cannot be the coach in your own training sessions, right? So as you continually grow, find somebody in your life who gives you feedback. That person can be mentor, you can pay for coaching, but just have somebody who is giving you feedback, because there's literally no improvement without feedback, right? And so for me, these are critical things if you are going to stand out in the world of work today, right? So I believe this has helped us a bit. I'm ready to take questions if anyone have questions for me.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really amazing. I'm trying to look for my video. Okay. Yeah, our moderator is here. Let me hand it over to her.
Thank you so much, Mr. Great. This was a power packed session in a very short time. Thank you for sharing from your wealth of knowledge. I gained a lot of value from all that you just shared. So, we are going to have questions, but before that, I would like to see what stood out to you the most. What is, amongst all the different things that Mr. Great has shared with us, what's one thing that stood out to you the most? What's the one thing that is still ringing in your head and in your heart? Just share it with me really quickly so we can take questions. And while you are doing that, if you have any question, please drop it in the chat so that Mr. Great can get to attend to our questions before we bid him farewell. Please drop your messages in the chat. Please drop your questions in the chat, and also share one thing that stood out to you the most from this session. Let's have your question. Growth needs feedback. Without feedback, there's no growth. Absolutely. Without feedback, there's no growth. When Mr. Great said, CS down. All right, please drop your questions. Also drop your questions so that Mr. Great can get to attend to your questions. I must always know how to solve problem, and it's collaborative, competence and visibility. Competence and visibility. In this day and time, visibility is quite important. Please drop your questions. Are you saying that nobody has questions? Is that what you are saying? If you don't have questions, me, I have questions. No matter how good you are, if no one sees you, how would you get to the kings? It's not good to be good. You said something about, all right, so I found a question, Mr. Great. Shooks is saying, you said something about adaptability. My question is, with the current situation of AI, doesn't it make us lazy when adapting to this? So this is the question from Shooks.
All right, thank you for that question. So I practically or personally do not think that AI limits you, right? I think that AI should actually I think that you should use AI as a tool to help you improve and become better. As a matter of fact, you should use AI to stand out in the marketplace. AI is simply a tool, just like one of those technologies, technology platform or technologies that you use, right? So, yes, it's possible that AI makes you lazy, but that's a personal thing. For other persons, AI makes them stronger. AI makes them, what's the word, hardworking. AI makes them competent, right? So it depends on your frame of mind, right? So for me, I use these tools, but I use them to become better at what I do. It has not reduced the amount of time I work. As a matter of fact, it's like a partner to me. So there are certain things I give it to do, right, to help me refine, for example, but it doesn't now make me lazy because I still have much work to do. I still have reviews to do. So even if the technology gives you something, it doesn't make that in 100%. You still have to review it, right? So adaptability for me is, I want you to understand what I mean by adaptability. You are competent, quite all right, right? But you must also understand that in your competency, there is a need in the world. There's a problem in the world that your competency must be solving. And how you solve that problem 10 years ago is totally different from how you are going to solve that problem today. And so you must adapt. You cannot say, oh, this is how we used to do it many years ago. You must adapt to the new tools. You must adapt to the new scenarios. You must adapt to the new environment, right? And I'll give you an example. 2018, 2019, I mean, I used to do recruitment for a media firm. I was working in a media firm, and that was before COVID. Guess what? COVID happened in 2020, and then before COVID, we could literally not hire anybody outside of Lagos. You have to be in Lagos because you come to the office to work, right? 2020 into 2021, all of those things changed. It would be dumb for you as a recruiter or for an organization to say, we cannot hire you because you are not in Lagos, right? Today, we are getting talent from anywhere. As long as you are connected, you have technology, you have internet, you can work from anywhere, right? Those were not possible, right, about a decade ago. Adaptability for you will be saying that, man, we are no longer in that world. We are now in a new world. So I have to adapt. So I have to learn new technologies. I have to learn new tools. So it will be done for you for today. You are having an interview, for example, and say, I can't use Zoom. Think about it. Right? Or you are having an interview today, say, I can't use this platform. Come on. That, regardless of your age, right? Regardless of your experience, those are tools that you should. I don't know if you understand what adaptability means right now. So I'm saying things have moved, right? You should move along as technology is moving and things are moving and the scenario is changing. Do you understand that? Right. So I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Mr. Great, for sharing. So the second question I have here for you is from Jeffrey, and he's asking, how can one position himself as someone who can help organizations achieve things faster and in a cost-effective way?
So quick answer for that would be somebody who is hungry for knowledge, or see yourself as a researcher, right? I like to call myself a consultant. The reason is because it puts me in a mind mood that you are solving problems. And for me to, if I want to help organization achieve something faster and in a cost-effective way, it means I'm thinking of myself as a problem solver, right? Or solution provider. So I would go out of my way and out of myself and out of my budget to always stay fresh, to always have ideas, to always have knowledge. I'm a knowledge worker, so I'm always studying, I'm always reading, I'm always researching, so that I can always stay at the edge of innovation. So when I come into an organization, I'm bringing something new that they have not heard before. Why? Because I studied it, I read about it, I'm looking at what's happening in my field, I'm looking at what's happening in the world, and I'm bringing those things fresh, right? So you want to be valuable to an organization, right? See yourself as a researcher. Always be finding out what's happening in this time. Another hack is I used to advise this to, I mean, when I used to speak a lot on campus, to young people who are studying any course, I used to advise them. I said, regardless of what you are studying, find out what your peers are studying. In other words, for example, I used to tell them, oh, when you go on Facebook, look for somebody in Asia, in one university in Asia, right? And just ask them, tell me how your curriculum look like. Just ask them for their curriculum. Compare it with what you are studying in Delsu, right? That's how to go beyond your boundary. That's how to go beyond your state, right? So when the person sends you the curriculum, compare what you are doing in 100 level first semester and what that person is doing in 100 level first semester. And then if you know that there are gaps, you should use Google and YouTube to close those gaps. Find a way to close those gaps, because your competitor is not in Nigeria. It's a global world. Right, so I don't want to stretch this beyond that. So I hope this helps you.
Yes, it does help a lot, and I'm also learning a lot from the questions that you've been answering. Thank you so much for providing that response. We'll take the next question now. This is from Larry, and Larry is asking, as a student, what do I need to do, or the criteria to set myself apart from others to be chosen in my field? I would also like to add to Larry's question. So he's asking as a student, how about this person, if this person is a graduate, done schooling, and the person has decided what he or she wants to be good at, the person is competent, the person has gained visibility and adaptability and every other thing, and the person wants to become difficult to be overlooked. So on the student end, what does the student have to do? And on the graduate end, what does that graduate have to do? Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so I wish there are specifics. I mean, I like to address things around specifics. For example, if I know the field, maybe I'll be able to advise. But if you are a student, I mean, I just answered a part of your question. For example, let's tell ourselves the truth. Some of the things we are studying right now in Nigeria in our university, right, are outdated. So you want to mark up with what your peers globally are studying. Go online. I mean, Coursera helps you, Google helps you, ChatGPT helps. Just find something. Just ask questions around. Okay, give me your curriculum. Give me your curriculum, 100 level to 400 level in your university. If I can get those courses, just to have an idea, and then benchmark with what we are doing in Nigeria, right? That helps you even have a foundation, because you can't improve if you don't know, right? You can't grow if you don't. You have to know. You have to say this is the gap. You can't improve on a gap that you are unaware of. Awareness helps you now lead to improvement, right? So you have to be aware. What is the curriculum? Where I am. Where am I rather, right? Where do I want to go to? As a graduate, for example, I mean, I shared a bit of my story. Most of us do not literally know what we are going to do when we are leaving university, right? So you need to start asking yourself questions around decisions. What I need to make a decision. What am I interested in? It's very possible that what you are interested in is totally different from what you are studying. It's fine, right? Your parents is paying the school fees for what you are studying, but can you start paying the school fees for what you are interested in? So that by the time you are graduating, you still have 4 years. By the time you are graduating at the 4th year, you have a certificate for what your parents is paying school fees for. You have a life, or you have skills for what you are interested in. And there are different ways. I've talked about how to gain skills, but you are a graduate right now and you already have competence in something. I always say that you may be competent and you are not getting opportunities. It means you are not positioning yourself where the opportunities are. There is a WhatsApp group for everything you are looking for in this life. I always say it. There is a WhatsApp group. All the presidents in this world are in one WhatsApp group. All the governors in this state and in this country are in one WhatsApp. There's a WhatsApp group for every opportunity you are looking for. When I was okay, for example, at the moment I live in Port Harcourt, right? I started my career in Lagos. When I said to myself that, okay, I think I'm done with Lagos, I need to go out of Lagos, because what I want to do right now, I want to have sanity in doing it. I want to have. I've always not liked living in Lagos, right? So I was looking for an opportunity that was going to take me out of Lagos. Right. What I did was simple. I just dropped a message on a WhatsApp group. If you have opportunities in 1, 2, 3, 4 states, reach out to me. The next week, I'm not joking. The next week, it was a WhatsApp group. The next week, somebody reached out to me. Somebody reached out to me about an opening that was in Edo State, right, for a project in the state government house. And they are looking for a recruiter, somebody who can recruit a lot. That's how I got my job that led me into the state house in Edo State, right? So that was what took me outside of Lagos. I was not even earning ×2 of what I was earning when I was staying in Lagos, right? But imagine I was not in that WhatsApp group. The opportunity would have been there. They may have been looking for somebody, but I was not in the WhatsApp group where the opportunities are. There is an opportunity, but you need to find yourself in the right room. Many of the jobs or the opportunities you are looking for are not usually displayed, advertised. They are not. Especially the best paying ones. I can tell you, because this is what I do, right? I've been doing this for 7 years. Most of the roles that we end up recruiting for, they are not advertised. That's why I told people to take LinkedIn very seriously. If I have to work 8 hours a day looking for somebody to hire, I may spend 6 hours of that time on LinkedIn looking for the person. That's why I'm saying spend more time on LinkedIn. You are looking for opportunity. LinkedIn is a big place. You people sometimes are underrating it. It's a big place. Opportunities are there, right? But you have to position in a way that the opportunities will find you. That's why I said if there are specifics, I may go into specifics, but I'm just generalizing it so that it can be valuable to everyone who is listening to me, right? So I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. I believe that the person's answer, I believe that he or she has gotten an answer. Larry, I believe you've gotten an answer for your question. For the sake of time, we can only take one more question, and I would like that to be the second part of Anointed's question, because I want to assume that we may have a number of persons that would fall into this category. So Anointed is asking, how do I know what to settle for or what to settle into if I'm interested in a lot of things? Because we are saying you have to decide. So how do I know what exactly to hold on to?
So most of the time, how do I say this? Start with writing them down. Take them out of your head. Write them, because see, most of the things we think we're interested in, they are all connected. If you take the approach to start writing, it was when I started even writing out Oh, I like to talk. I like to travel. I like to. It was when I started writing those things down. That's where clarity started. Clarity starts from writing things down. Most times, these things are just in your head, and you think you are interested in many things. If we sit together one on one, and you are in a coaching session with me, I can bet you that by the time we are done with that coaching session, you will know what to do. Because most times, the many things you think you are interested in connects into one thing. So it begins with just take that thing out of your head and write it down, right? And you would realize that, okay, for example, you can have a passion for speaking, and then in speaking you can actually either be a trainer, right? Training, corporate training. So you train organizations, you train employees. But in speaking you can also be an MC, right? So you have once, but it can go different ways. So by the time you realize that, by the time you start writing things down and start asking yourself, okay, so if I say I love speaking, what kind of audience do I like to speak to? Right? What kind of speaking do I? You would realize. So speaking can also be pastor. Speaking, there are many. So but you will not know until you start writing them down. Clarity begins with writing. You take those things off your head. You realize that all these many things you think you're interested in may just be two, and out of that two, you now have lesser decision to make, to say, okay, between this and this, which of them goes. Now the second way to do that is, by the time you have written them down, intersect them with problems in the world. What are the biggest problems in the world that this king can solve? So for example, what big problem? So always start with big problems. Don't start with small problems, because big problem, big money, right? So what big problem can speaking solve in the world? What big problem can my love for travel solve in the world? There's always, if you can't find a big problem that what you are interested in can solve, move to the next thing. Lastly, I hope you know that there's always, in your lifetime, there's always an opportunity to change careers. There's always, so don't box yourself into, don't make it a do or die affair. I had 3 options. If HR wasn't going to work, I knew I was going to move. If I started doing HR and I wasn't liking it, I was going to move. So for me, it was not like it must be this or that. I had 3 options, but I just wanted to start with this. Why? I realized that I could connect my passion for consulting, right, in leadership, into HR. But it was when I was putting all of those things together that I found out, if everything was just in my head, clarity does not stay in the head, it stays on paper, right? So put it on paper, then find connection. Okay, with this I'm interested in, which big problem can it solve? Because big problem is potential for big money. I hope that helps. My time is up, right?
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. This was so insightful. Like, I'm seeing the chats, like the comments, they are really, really. Oh God, I've been reading. People have a lot of questions, but thank you so much. Like, you were able to say so much within 45 minutes. I can't believe it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to come for one-on-one coaching.
So I'm very open. Anybody who have extra questions, personalized questions, how do we do it? I think you can reach me on. I sent you my slide. My email address is there. You can send me an email address. I mean, I'm very active on X. Very active on IG. Not very active on IG, but I'm active on IG. But more active on X than on IG. Anywhere you want to send me a message, I'll be glad to take your message, and then we'll see where we can speak on. All right. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. On behalf of the entire team, we say thank you. Thank you. Please, I want to see your appreciation in the chat. We'll share Mr. Great's details. Okay, let me remove him from the. We'll share his social media handles on the channel. So this is why you should actually be part of the Stosso Talent community. We have a lot, like we have amazing speakers, we have amazing opportunities, events, not just this conference, not just the conference, but other activities lined up for you. So stay tuned. We have more. We have much more that we want to deliver to you. So stay tuned, be part of our community, be part of the offers that we're going to bring out soon. And trust me, it's going to be amazing. We have another speaker to come up shortly, and I'll just allow a moderator to do the introduction. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jane, our convener. And thank you so much, Mr. Grace, for that powerful and amazing session. We'll go right on now to the next session. We are going to be having another speaker in person of Mr. Gift Best. Mr. Gift will be speaking to us on building a future bigger than your beginnings. He's going to be speaking to us on how we can build beyond our environment. So, Mr. Gift Best Jr. is a brand architect, a business consultant, an entrepreneur, an ecosystem builder, and one of the emerging voices shaping the future of business, branding, and leadership across Africa. With a deep conviction that businesses are built first in the mind before they are built in the marketplace, Mr. Gift has dedicated his life's work to helping founders, professionals, organizations, and visionaries gain clarity, build remarkable brands, create scalable businesses, and establish legacies that outlive them. He's the founder and chief executive officer of Own Your Brand, OYB, a brand and business strategy company that has worked with founders, executives, institutions, and organizations across Africa, Europe, and North America. Through strategic consulting, positioning, marketing, and business design, OYB has helped numerous brands clarify their identity, strengthen their market presence, and unlock new opportunities for growth. Recognizing that businesses do not grow merely because people have information, but because they possess the discipline to execute consistently, Mr. Gift founded the Business Room, a premium business ecosystem where entrepreneurs, founders, executives, and growth minded individuals gather to learn practical business strategy, build meaningful relationships, and develop systems that drive sustainable profitability and long term growth. Through the business room, he has continued to champion a simple but powerful philosophy that execution, accountability, and clarity are the true competitive advantages in today's business world. Mr. Gift is also the founder of Masteryverse, an emerging education platform committed to helping individuals master the knowledge, skills, disciplines, and systems required to thrive in business, leadership, and life. His vision for Masteryverse is to build one of Africa's most respected learning ecosystems for ambitious builders and lifelong learners. Beyond business strategy, Mr. Gift is passionate about ideas and influence. As the founder of Macareels Media, is building a media and intellectual property company dedicated to creating books, educational content, research, digital media, and transformational conversations that inspire a generation to think bigger, build bigger, and lead with purpose. In strategic leadership, Mr. Gift Best Jr. also serves as the head of business development and marketing for Immense Coaching Company, one of Africa's foremost leading professional coaching practice and network of coaches with over 100,000 community members in 100 plus countries of the world. Over the years, Mr. Gift has advised founders, business owners, coaches, executives, and organizations on branding, positioning, marketing, business growth, leadership, and strategic communication. His ability to simplify complex business ideas into practical frameworks has made him a trusted advisor to individuals and brands seeking sustainable growth in an increasingly competitive marketplace. Mr. Gibbs is a highly sought after speaker, facilitator, and educator. He has shared insights on branding, entrepreneurship, leadership, marketing, execution, business development, and personal growth at conferences, workshops, leadership summits, corporate gatherings, and entrepreneurial communities. His presentations are known for combining strategic depth with practical implementation, leaving audiences with actionable ideas rather than inspiration. He believes that Africa's next generation of globally relevant businesses will not be built merely by ambition, but by founders who possess clarity, discipline, strong positioning, and excellent execution. He is a devoted Christian, a loving husband, and a proud father. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome on stage Mr. Gift Best Jr. as he discusses Beyond Your Environment, building a future bigger than your beginnings. Thank you so much, Mr. Gifts, for honoring our invitation. We're so glad to have you here today. The floor and the stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you so much, Aditola. Whew, it's a pleasure to be here. Um, I was actually just listening to Mr. Great here. His session. It was just powerful. And if you're a young person here, I'm looking at the YouTube chat, so you just let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, okay. So that's we're all good. You can hear me, okay. You can see me, and then we just take it away. But I was just trying to say that that session was really powerful. And if you're a young person here, you're less than 20 years of age, I want to say that you have a very great privilege. You have a very great leverage listening to what you're listening to right now. Okay, so well done. And the second thing I want to say is a special thank you to the organizers and especially to Jane and the team for an amazing work that you're doing, putting this together, especially for those of you who don't know, I'm from Delta State. I think it's not one of the things that was captured in my bio, but I'm from Delta State, Ndokwa East, Delta State, and when I saw the vision of what the team is trying to actually do with this conference, it was truly something that really resonated. And I was just so happy about what's happening over here. All right. So today, would you be sharing the slide for me or should I go ahead and share so I know how to proceed? Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, today I'm going to be speaking about building beyond your environment, building a future bigger than your beginnings. And to be honest, if there's anybody that is fit to talk about this today, I think I'm one of the people that is very fit to talk about this. Because apart from the amazing things God has helped us to achieve in the past 10 years, that I've been doing what I've been doing, one of the things that has really marked my life is the background that I have, and oftentimes when I tell this story, okay, let me set my time so that I know how I am moving. Okay. So one of the things that it's my background, where I come from, how I've been able to move from where I was born, the environment I was born in, the surroundings, the things that surrounded my upbringing, have been able to move from that to where I am today. And of course it's an ever progressive journey, not like we're there yet, but God has helped us to come through a process, and that process is something I'm going to be really sharing with you today. So if you're a young person here listening to me, especially if you're from Delta State, I want you to take your notes, and while we get on this right. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, amazing. So this is a picture. The first picture is a picture from 2015. If you check I actually got that picture from Facebook. I posted it on Facebook in 2015, and the reason I was able to, if you see the date, it's actually 1st of January 2015. So, first picture of the year, you usually would want to post your best picture. You just want to use it to mark the beginning of a new era, and you're just excited, so as at 2015, this was my best picture, and as a matter of fact, I couldn't really even find pictures from way back. I think I joined Facebook 2011, but I couldn't find a lot of pictures from way back after that time because I just did not have a lot, as it were. But then this is a picture from 2025, last year, when we had the business room. We gathered business founders, more than 100 business founders. We gathered them in Lagos. It wasn't a meeting. It wasn't a meeting for everyone. It was an exclusive meeting for business founders, people who actually have a running business. This is a picture from that experience. And the reason this picture is here, it's because it's a picture that really captures where my heart is. From the bio, you could see that I'm right there at the point where I want to support business founders, business owners, and all over the world. And but the reason I put this picture here is it's a contrast of where I'm coming from and where I am today. Because I was when I had a conversation with Jane and one of the team, the organizers of this conference, I was sharing how the fact that being someone who actually till now there's no secondary school in my village, because it's a place that is way back in, you know and one of the things I really had in mind, then, because as a brilliant person, you just feels like, okay, because you're brilliant, you're known in the village, everybody knows you. It feels like you have a form of popularity. But then as I began to come out, from left the place for secondary school, and then you just begin to discover that the place that you think that you were actually very popular is not even in the map of the world. So when you say local champion, it's not even a matter of being a local champion. It's like a matter of being a champion of a place that is non-existent in the map of the world. People don't even know about you. People in the grand scheme of things all over the world, they don't even know about you. But there you are in the village, you've accomplished popularity in the village. And this is one of the things I'm going to be speaking about today. Because some of you listening to me, you're young and it feels like you're very smart. I read something on Twitter yesterday that a father removed her a daughter from a school that she was taking first. She was always coming first in the school, and put her in another school, and she took 23rd out of 24 in her class because she was just playing as a local champion in that environment where it was low achievers that were in that environment. So you came from that environment where people are not ambitious. People are not global in their thinking. People are not innovative. People are not looking forward to how they can actually contribute to the world, but they're just looking for personal survival. When you come from that environment, whatever little success that you achieve, it feels like you've achieved a milestone because you're a local champion. Now let's go to the next slide, and I'll just begin to share the points that I have here for us today. And the reason I want to share this with you is actually, if someone has shared this with me when I was, whether it was 15 or 18 years of age, I would say that I would have had better leverage and faster trajectory for the journey that I am on today. It's amazing. So we're going to be talking about 5 ways to build a future bigger than your beginnings. We're going to be talking about environmental awareness, how to create your exit plan, destination consciousness, reconfiguring your competencies, and achieving escape velocity. If time permits me, I'm going to cover all of this today extensively so that you understand. And the reason I captured all of these 5 steps is because I could backtrack my whole process. Today we have a business that is running, and we've consulted for people from different countries of the world, right? As you heard from the bio, we've consulted for people from different countries of the world, continent, and we're growing, in influence, in capacity, and all the things that we're doing. And we're still building several brands. We're even yet to launch a new brand, coming month, So, but I can always sit where I am and backtrack and see all of the steps. Some of them were conscious, some of them were unconscious. Some of them were, I think one of the things that Mr. Gray was talking about was being in the right room. Some of the things that actually helped me to gain escape velocity was because oftentimes maybe I was in the right room or someone had put me in the right room. I was invited into a room. So I'm going to be talking about all of these things that you can do regardless of what your background is, regardless of what your beginnings are, regardless of the disadvantages that you have, because that's one thing people are always complaining. Regardless of what it is, how can you escape that environment and build the future that is the word I want to use is a spiritual word, but I don't want to use that. And build the future that is your desire. So we're going to be talking about today. So let's go to the first point: environmental awareness. Let's go to the next slide. The first point we're talking about today is environmental awareness. And the first thing I want you to learn today is the fact that you cannot change what you have not become conscious of. Consciousness. The reason a lot of people are not able to record tremendous changes in their life is because they don't understand, they don't have a consciousness of what their environment is. They are not aware. Because there's a level of awareness that you can say, oh, you are self-aware, you know your potentials, you know your skill, you know your strength, you know your capacities. But then there's also the part which is environmental awareness. And most people that never in their own lifetime figure out or master their environment or become very conscious of their environment, they oftentimes die in that environment without understanding that there could have been more that they would have accomplished, right? So when you become conscious of your environment, then you know the conditions, because some of the decisions that you make in your life today, it's not because it is the most profitable decision. It's not because it is the most viable, it's the only option. No, it's because of the environment that you're in that has conditioned you to think in a particular way. I was sharing a couple of days ago at an event that if you have 5 poor friends, right? Someone said, of course, it's not my original word, but someone said that if you have 5 poor friends, you don't actually have 5 poor friends. You have six. You are the sixth person. You are just not aware of the environment that you are in and how that it has shaped who you are, because you are the sixth person in that environment. If you have 7 stupid friends, friends who all they're just thinking about is low hanging fruits and things that are very insignificant, people that don't want to live a consequential life. If you have 6 or 7 of them, they're not 6, they're not 7, they are 8, because you were part of them. And that's what the environment teaches you. So one of the things you have to understand is you have to come to the actualizing reality. This is not even motivation. This is a self-awakening to understand that, okay, this environment I am, what exactly are the attributes of this environment? Because I was having a conversation with the team before when we had a call, and I was saying that some people, you are actually smart enough, you are actually talented enough. The reason you are not where you want to be is because you are not in the right environment. It is your environment. And so oftentimes, uh, just changing that environment changes your life. It's like how you see some people, oftentimes you just see them, they're in Nigeria and they are very dark skinned. And then after a while, they just travel out maybe to a different country with a different weather. And then after a while, you just see their skin start glowing. They didn't do anything different. All they just did was to change an environment. And that's the same way it applies to success. That's the same way it applies to destinies. That's the same way it applies, because you can water a tomato fruit somewhere. You're so diligent watering it, but the problem with that tomato fruit is not that it's not growing, it's not that the seeds are not healthy, but it's just because it's in the wrong environment. So you have to understand that where are you? Your environment that you're in, does it support the skills that you're looking to develop in? Does it support the level of wealth that you want to build? Does it support the level of intelligence that you want to build? That's the first thing. The second thing is, what has your environment taught you? Most people, the reason they've never been able to think that they can invent something that changes human history is because their environment has never taught them that. And that's why the school you go to is very important. You don't just, Mr. Greda, and I really love this session. He was saying that when you are in school, your parents are paying your school fees, so you're learning what they sent you to learn because they are paying your school fees. But you have the opportunity to actually pay the fees for the ones that you need. Just paraphrasing. And that's something you must wake up to, because your environment. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to say this without thinking about what the consequences are. But you must understand that the average Nigerian environment is not designed for you to come up automatically. And I'm going to talk more about that when we get to escape velocity. You know what velocity is? Gaining momentum to escape the gravitational pull. For those of you that did physics, gaining momentum to overcome the gravitational pull that is pulling you towards that planet. So that's the second thing. What has your environment taught you? The lessons that your environment has taught you, are they essential for your future? Are they essential for the kind of life that you want to build as a young person, for the kind of dreams that you want to build? Those lessons, are they essential? How do they contribute? Or do you need to unlearn everything that you've been taught by your environment and learn new things that will support the new growth and the new environment that or the new level of success that you want to experience? Number three is, what does my environment make me believe is possible? And if this is the only thing you get out of this session, I'm so happy. Your environment creates your layer of possibilities. Your environment, your association creates your layer of possibility. The people you hang around, if you hang around people that make $1,000 per month, that becomes your picture of possibility. If you stay in an environment where the greatest achievement any man can have is Toyota Camry, that becomes the layer of your possibility. And that's what you now crave for, because the moment you have it, it becomes your definition of success. That's very important. So what does my environment make me believe is possible? It's a question you must ask. And you start asking this question by opening your eyes. And I'm not talking physically, often physically too. A mentor of mine said that it helps you to just sometimes get in the car, drive to an environment that you want to, a neighborhood that you want to, whether it's Banana Island, I stay in Lagos, whether it's Banana Island or whatever, you just drive to that environment and just see what's around and just see what people have, what people has built. And then when you get back to your locality where you stay, there's a new picture that comes into your mind, because the people that has built these things, they don't have two heads now, right? And that's what inserting yourself in the right rooms, right forums, it does for you. Mr. Gray was talking about WhatsApp group, how that different people in life, successful people in life, they have a WhatsApp group. That is what inserting yourself in an environment teaches you. It increases it increases your ladders of possibilities. Number four, what opportunities are around me? Some of you, the opportunities you are looking for, it does not exist where you are. It doesn't. So no matter how much you pray, and it's very illustrative, even in the scriptures, we see them. We see people praying to God that this is what they want to do. And one of the things that God tells them is to live where they are. It's not even an advice, it's an instruction. For Abraham, God had to tell him to leave his father's house, right? For what's his name now? Yeah, that was Abraham. There's another guy in the book of Judges that God had to tell him that he had to live where he was. For Isaac, it was the same thing. So oftentimes, your only limitation in life, it is not because those opportunities do not exist, but you are not within the frequency or the atmosphere where those opportunities exist in. Number five, what limitations have I accepted as normal? DDK calls it, our mentor, she calls it normalized nonsense. There are several things that you've accepted as normal, and they are nonsense. So some things in your life that you've accepted, oh, it's normal. It's normal for a girl of 16, 17, 18, 20 years to get pregnant. It's a normalized nonsense. And you just accept it because that is what your environment has created as a norm. So you must wake up, open your eyes, and you're asking yourself, this environment I'm in, these things that people have normalized, is it the same everywhere? Is it the same in Tokyo? Is it the same in Japan? Is it the same in China? Is it the same in the United States? Is this thing a norm? You are 19 and people are telling you that, take it easy. This way you are moving. This way you are moving too fast. Take it, calm down. Calm down. In this time, in your environment, in this country where you were born, you are already born at a disadvantage. They are telling you are 19, you are 20 to calm down, and you are listening to them. Oh, sleep more, and you are listening to them. It's a normalized nonsense. So you must understand that. And number six is, who am I becoming because of the people and environment around me? This is just number one. Your environment can influence you but does not have to define you. And that's why we're having this conversation today. Your environment, it can influence you. It has the greatest three things that have the greatest influence in your life: your family, your environment, and your circle. Oftentimes, your circle could be your environment. But you see, your environment, it has the greatest influence in your life, but it does not have to define you. Let's move to the second point. I have very limited time, for this. Let's go to the second point. Number 2 is creating your exit plan. If you remember, I was sharing the story with you, and I was telling you how that I grew up in a place where I did not grow up with so much leverage, so much opportunities. But Mr. Gray was sharing about his NYC story, and I could actually relate. Came for service, first time living, first time coming to the Southwest. Came for NYSC, finished my NYSC. I had a call to come back home, come back to the same place, just go back home and, continue and figuring out my life. But I looked at where I want to go to. Does going back support that growth, or does moving forward support the actualization of that dream? And I saw that it's moving forward that actually supports the actualization of that, and that became my focus. So what did I do? I had to start crafting a plan, to creating a personal plan for actual. Nobody's going to create this for you. Your mother, your father, well, apart from those of you that come from wealth, you have an inheritance where before you were even born, there's a trust fund ready for you. They've planned out how you're going to do your university. After you're done with your secondary school, they take you to the United States. You go to Stanford. When you're done with Stanford, you come back and you run the company. If you are that kind of person, this is not for you. It's a different category. But but if you are not that kind of person, this is for you. You have to personally create your own exit plan, because now you've understood your environment. You've understood the environment. So what is the plan to move out of this environment, both the physical environment, the mental environment, psychological environment, spiritual environment? How do you escape? You are escaping from things like limiting beliefs, negative relations. Some of you, when you move out of your city, all those friends that you call your bestie, they'll become irrelevant in your life. And it's not because they are bad people, but your next level does not support your current level of your current circle of friends. It doesn't. You have friends, the only thing they want to do is to go to the field and play ball. And you are sitting in your room, you are looking at 15 books that you have to read before the end of this month. And then they say, oh, come, let's go and play football. Play football. Bro, do you know what the hell is going on? So limiting beliefs, negative relationships, poor habits. Some of you, the only thing that is stopping you is poor habit that has been, and it's not your fault. It's an habit that was created as a function of that environment that you were in. That's what you need to escape from. Complacency, lack of exposure, dependency. You're depending so much on your environment and the things that are happening there, or the people that because they are giving you money so you just depend on it. Fear of trying. Some people so scared of trying because they've seen records of people who tried and it never worked. You have that one uncle that right now what he's doing is driving keke nape, and he's always telling you stories of how he attempted to break out of that environment and it didn't work. He went to Lagos, had to pack his bag and come back home. And that's what you're scared of, that, oh, if I move to Lagos now, it won't work and I'm not going to have to come back home. No, that is a mentality that you have to break. The need for everybody's approval. Some of you, that's your problem. You just want everybody to be happy with what you're doing. And then you put a post on Facebook, your friends comes and say, oh, Chamaka, you too, you don't do motivational speaker. And then you go and delete the post. Why? You need nobody's approval. And my mentor, she says that when you have a vision, you don't need permission. You don't need people's permission to live out your destiny. Of course, you need guidance. You need people's input, people that are people who have been where you want to be, not your friends that you grew up with that have no idea what life is. A mindset that says this is how things has always been. These are things you must break out from in order to create a plan that supports your next level of growth. You cannot build a different future while remaining trapped in the patterns that created your present. You cannot. And we're going to go to the next slide, which is the third slide. I'm going to move faster now. Destination consciousness. Destination consciousness. Do you have some people, they know what they don't want to be, but they don't know who they want to be. You know that you don't want to be a cultist. You know that you don't want to be in an environment. You don't want to be someone dependent on people. But do you know who you want to be? Do you have a clear picture of what your destination looks like? Do you have a clear picture of what? And this is where visioning actually comes into play. Some of you, what you're going to do after now, here in my living room, I have two frames. One of them is actually a quote that has come now to mark my life. Another is a personal vision that becomes a driving force for what I want to do. I have it here in my living room, pinned out and posted here. Some of you need to actually go and vision your life, the kind of life that you want to have. Print it out in a picture, put it in your room. Some of you know the story of Mbappe now. How that is it Ronaldo now that is idol? How that he had the picture of Ronaldo everywhere, hanging in his room, living room, and everywhere, right? That is what some of you need to do. Who do I want to become? Do you have a picture of it? If I ask you in one word, elevator pitch, what is the picture of the person you want to become? And you want to have money. You want to have money. That's not an identity. Money is a resource. Anybody can have money. Who do you want to become? You need to know where you are going. You cannot build a future if you have never defined what bigger. You cannot build a bigger future if you have not defined what bigger means for you. So what problems do I want to solve? What impact do I want to make? What does success mean to me? What success means to you is different from what success means to me. What would I regret not becoming? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. We move to the next slide, number 4. Number 4 is we're going to be talking about. Oh, before we go to number 4, I had a conversation with my dad a couple of weeks ago, and in that conversation, I think he was trying to talk about the Animal Farm. That book. I don't know if some of you have read it. And then after talking about it, he was now talking about this quote. He said that a child who has never visited other people's farm thinks that his father's farm is the biggest. And that quote, so I've heard it before, and it's not an original quote from him, it's an African proverb, right? But when he said it, that was like the first time that quote actually stuck in my head. Some of you, that's the problem. You think that where you are, what you are saying, is the biggest there is. And the reason for that thought is because you have not put yourself in a different environment, and you don't have a consciousness, destination consciousness. You don't have a consciousness of what a successful you looks like. What does a successful you look like? Do you have a picture of it? Is it in your room? Do you have a pin in your room? The next slide, number 4. Number 4, and then we're going to talk about number 5. I'm going to begin to close out. Number 4 is reconfigure your competence. Some of you are well-intentioned. You have the dream, you have the vision, but you don't have the skill. And that's a problem, because we live in a time where a lot of and when I talk about skill, I'm not talking about the ability to create a website. That's just a part of it. I'm not talking about the ability to network. That's just a part of it. But some of you opportunities will present itself. It will. Some of you opportunity as a matter. There's a famous quote that a moving man would always meet his luck. Yeah. Yes, it's true. But the reason people do not get to escape their current environment is because that opportunity meets them, but they are not equipped for that opportunity. They don't have the competence. And that's why if you're young here, one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself today is to learn to acquire the skills of the future. Skills that are relevant in the future. It's not now you want to be saying you want to learn how to do Microsoft Word. That's not even what we're talking about. You are learning what are the skills of the future, both hard skill and soft skill. Because you are in an environment where comfort has become Comfort has become an identity. Anything that wants to make you to inconvenience you, you resist it. And because of that, instead of you spending 2 hours per day on Coursera, spending 2 hours per day acquiring a skill, spending 2 hours a day learning something new, you prefer to spend 2 hours per day watching football, watching Netflix. It's comfortable. You want to chill. And then 2 years from now, you walk into a room, and Mr. Gray was talking about how that was it a presentation or something that he had done that landed him his first job. You walk into a room and the opportunities are there. The people that you would call your destiny helpers, they are there. But now here is an opportunity for you to showcase your skill. There's a little error in the room. There's a little challenge in the room that you can actually fix. Something that has to do, okay, can we connect this to this? Can we connect this to this and make it work? Or, oh, this is a presentation. Can you help us put it in a slide or something in a couple of minutes? And there you are. Because you never acquired that skill. And there you are. That opportunity goes by. So you must learn, and it starts from research. You're researching, especially with your specific industry, with your specific vision, your specific aspirations. You are aspiring to be something. What are the relevant skills that are essential, futuristic relevant skills that are essential in this industry? You learn them, and there are the essentials: communication skill, digital skill, critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, financial intelligence, leadership, networking, entrepreneurship, the ability to learn and adapt. Some of you, opportunity presented itself in campus to be the class captain, but because you were shy, you bypassed that. And that was going to be your first leadership experience that will shape your life as a leadership consultant. But you never took that opportunity. So you must learn the relevant skill. The future will demand something from you that your present may not require. Some of you, the future you were aspiring for have skills that are essential, but you've not brought yourself down to learn those skills. Number 5, we're going to go to number 5 now, which is the escape velocity, achieving escape velocity. Those of you who are science students, it's not going to be a difficult one for you because you already understand that in physics, escape velocity is the minimum speed required for an object to break free from the gravitational pull of a massive body. On Earth, 9.8 meter per second, the Earth's, what do you call it now? The Earth's gravity or whatever it is, 9.8, right? It is the fact that everything that goes up on Earth must surely come down because there's gravity pulling everything that goes up. Now, in order for you to, and this is where the Wright brothers actually had the breakthrough, in order for you to be able to move or overcome that gravitational force, you need to have a force that is stronger. You need to have momentum or velocity that is stronger than that gravity that is pulling you down. So the same way your environment, the idea here is not just the speed, it's the threshold. The threshold means that force level. If the gravity of the Earth is 9.8 meters per second and you are moving at 8.8, it's not going to overcome it. You need to be able to move higher and faster, stronger than the gravity that is pulling you down in order for you to overcome that. Now, what you must understand is your environment itself. Some of the things you call witchcraft, there's a witch that is stopping you from achieving your, it's not a witch, it's the gravity of your environment. And the reason you've not overcome is because you've not attained the momentum, you've not gained the velocity that you require in order to overcome that gravity that is pulling you down. So it's not even just physical gravity, but we're talking about social gravity. We're talking about psychological gravity, which is the most important. Psychological mentality gravity that is pulling you down. It's strong. And that's one thing that you must understand. Of course, we have spiritual gravity, but that's not the context of our conversation today. But you must, in order for you to overcome, you must gain what is known as escape velocity. It can pull you back. This gravity can pull you back. The beliefs you grew up with, the habits everyone around you has, I was telling someone that some of the things you call generational curse is not a generation. There's no demon behind it. It's a generational pattern. So a young man, he saw his father. His father was a drunk. And then the boy grows up He loves drinking, starts drinking, and you say it's a demon. Oftentimes, of course, there are demonic activities, but oftentimes it's a function of repeated pattern. He has seen it. He subconsciously has sat in his mind. He has copied it. Unconsciously, he exhibits the habit. And when you exhibit the habit, it's garbage in, garbage out. When you exhibit the habit that your father exhibited, you get the same results that your father got. So some of you, that's what you have to break. The limitation of your surrounding, fear of becoming different. Some of you, that's your only fear. The reason you have not packed your bag and left that village and moved to the city or to whatever, to Lagos especially, and stay there, even though if it's inconvenient for you. The reason you've not done that is because you're scared of being different. You want to hang around your friends, stay with them. These are the people I grew up with. I'll grow old with them. But it's difficult for 10 children to play for 10 years, So that's the fifth point, achieving escape velocity. So what are the 6 ways? I'm going to run through this, and then we're going to close this out. Number 1 is how to achieve 6 ways to achieve your escape velocity. Number 1, design your vision. Hold on, let me look at what the time is saying. 4:55. Okay, my time is up. So I'm going to wrap up now. 6 ways to achieve your escape velocity. Number 1, design your vision. Don't allow your environment to become the limit of your imagination. See a future you have never experienced. You don't have the experiences to see it. As a matter of fact, everything that we're seeing, for those of you who watched Total Recall, I don't know if you are, maybe some of you are too young to remember that movie. If you watched Total Recall, some of the things we're seeing around today, technology advancement, they were in those movies. The fact that today Elon Musk is saying, we want to go to Mars and establish an ecosystem in Mars where people can live, it's in Total Recall. So oftentimes, the things that we see experienced in our life today, someone has already had a vision of it and made a movie out of it. Yours is not to envision the entire world or the future of the human race. Yours is to envision your life. What is the future that you have about your life? What's your vision? Number 2, let's go to the next slide. Number 2 now, increase your exposure. You cannot aspire to what you have never seen. If you have never seen that it is possible to do something, to actualize a certain success, you will never be able to achieve it. Because you've never seen it. If you've never seen, if you don't know that this, if you don't know that this water, if there's a chemical that you can pour this water into and then it becomes juice, you don't know about it. You will never be able to perform that miracle. And oftentimes when someone comes to where you are and does it, normal thing, just put this thing, and you are like, oh, what technology, what a magic, because you've never been exposed to that. So you must learn to expose yourself. You must learn. And some of you think, to expose myself, I need to go to UK. No, read books. Read books. I'm not talking about reading novels and romantic. No, I'm talking about reading books that are civil documentation of our civilization. Read books. Travel when you can. Some of you, what you can afford to do is to just pay for a bus and move to a different city. Just travel there. Stay for 1 week or 1 day and come back. Your thought patterns will be adjusted. Attend events like this. That's why this event was put to expose you to different thought patterns. Meet people. Study people who are doing what you want to do. Get into better rooms. Exposure expands your possibilities. Exposure expands your possibilities. Number 3, we're going to be talking about number 3 now. Let's go to the third slide now. Number 3. Are you there, Tim? Or do I need to share from my end? Number 3. Okay, let me just share from here. Number 3 is to level up. Upgrade your knowledge, your skill, your character, and your capacity. What does the person I want to become know, understand, and know how to do? That's number 3. Number 4 is change your associations. Your relationship influences your direction. Find people that are in alignment with where you are going to. Jonah was sent to Nineveh. The ship that Jonah entered was going to Tarshish. It wasn't the same environment he was going to. And of course, it wasn't going to take him to that destination. And that's your goal in life. Find the people who are going to the same direction that you're going to. Your relationship will challenge you, inspire you, teach you, make you believe higher, and help you to build something way more than yourself. And number 5 is to take action on the things that you've learned. Start today, build, apply, fail, learn, and try again. And then finally, you have to learn to keep moving. Thank you so much. I think I took 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes out of my time. Thank you so much. We'll just drop the curtain here and let's have questions being answered. I hope this was valuable for you. Can I see your comments? Comment in the, I'm going to pull up YouTube now. I hope this was valuable for you. Okay, let me see your comments. Can we get our moderator back in the room?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for sharing. That was such a very powerful session, and I'm sure that every single person on the call, every single person in this meeting and this session did get value for their time. So please, let's just take questions. For the sake of time, we would only be able to take one question. So please, let's take a question. The first question I find up here is a question that we would have to take. So please send your question so that I can read it out to Mr. Gift and you get to answer the question. Please let's get to take question. Thank you so much. That this was such a very valuable session. Not even just for attendance, even for me myself. My notepad is completely full. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure.
Please let's get
My
questions.
pleasure.
Let's get questions. All right, so I can see one question from Chuku Yem, and Chuku Yem is asking, when I sit and try to envision myself in a certain way, like paint a certain picture, I find out that I'm not able, can.
Okay, so can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can see that our moderator is frozen. Is it me or? Okay, I'm going to answer this question. Just confirm you can hear me. Okay, loud and clear. Fantastic.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
I'm fixing the
so
network issue.
Chukuyem, yeah, I think that's the pronunciation. So when I sit and try to envision myself in a certain way, like paint a picture, I find out that I am not able to do that. Now, this is a very simple way to do this, and I'm not going to make it complex for you and say, oh, just use technology or something. There's a simple way to do this. For someone like Mbappe, for instance, I would take it that you are a football enthusiast. You know, for someone like Mbappe, what his own was it? Yeah, it's Mbappe, not Neymar. His own was to just put a picture. He didn't really have to think a lot about it. His own was to put a picture of Ronaldo, who was like his idol, in his room. I don't know if you can see my back. There are a couple of pictures in my back, at my back. You might not be able to see it very clear. Now, this is a concept that we have in my home, and it's like our own wall of possibility. I have the picture of my mentors, my pastors on there, right? And what it does for me every morning when I wake up is it shows me, because these are people that are living the life that I wish to live in terms of impact, especially in terms of impact and influence, you know, and the things that they've done in life. So one of the things you can do is, who is in this life that you're in, who is that one person that you actually aspire to be like? Who is that one person? You know, it doesn't have to be complicated. If it's someone like Tony Elumelu, Mr. Tony Elumelu, thank you. I have to say Mr. Tony Elumelu. You know, if it's someone like Mr. Tony Elumelu that you want to aspire to be like, have this picture. Follow him. If you're on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, follow him. What is this saying? Every single thing is putting on. And that's one of the things that actually helped me. In 2020, when after the pandemic, and I just had a picture of where I want to go, and it was just forming. I knew the kind of people that I wanted to be like. So that means I found out everywhere they were on. Were they on Facebook? Are they writing posts on Facebook? I'm going to follow them. Are they on Instagram? Are they on Twitter? What are they saying? You study them, because they've now become a picture. So for you, envisioning yourself, it doesn't even have to be something very spiritual. Of course, you're praying and God is giving you insight into the kind of person that you want to be. But do you know of someone who is currently alive or dead that portrays that picture of who you want to become? Get a picture of them. If they have a book, buy their book, invest in buying their book, read about them. How did they grow up? And oftentimes, most public people, there's a biograph of them. How did they grow up? What did they do? How did they overcome the difficulties that they had to face? When you start reading all of this, modeling your life, after all of this, one of the things that will happen to you is you get light, you get direction. You get light in terms of, okay, oh, so this is what it looks like. This is okay, this is what they did, this is what I can do. They put out an article or a post, you're reading it and you're getting there. Because what you're doing, you might not be able to be in the same room with them where you're not asking them questions. But what you are doing is you are learning from them from afar. And that just tremendously changes the trajectory of your own life. Thank you so much. I will not want to belabor this and take more of our time. Thank you so much.
Thank Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. I truly appreciate. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing from your wealth of knowledge. Please, can you put your hands together? Can you say thank you to Mr. Gift Best Jr.? Can you say thank you to him? Can you say thank you? Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. We truly appreciate your time. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Jane, would you like to come on stage? I can see that you're on stage. All right, please go ahead, please.
Oh, so Gibbs has turned off his mic. Thank you, his video. Thank you so
Do you
much,
still need me?
sir. Thank
I'm
you.
saying, yeah, do you
Calling
still
Sir
need me?
Gibbs at work. I want to appreciate you while you're still on stage. So thank you. Like you spoke so passionately. I could feel the fire inside. I know that this session was not just enough. Like we need more. We need more of you, say gifts. And certainly, I believe our community has been blessed, and we would also love to have more of you subsequently. So thank you. Thank you. Oh, someone said, please, can we just take one more question, Tola? Please just select one more. Please, we don't want Segif to go without answering one more question.
All right, I will do just that. So I see that Onome Blessing had sent a question earlier on, so I'm just going to read her question out. She says, in the drive of attaining a better future, what do you have to say to someone who has had repeated failed experiences and has developed a phobia for failure, has developed a fear of failure? The mindset of how is this going to be any different? So what do you have to say to such a person, sir?
I think one of the things I have now begun to learn as a business consultant, even as a business owner, is the fact that it's a difficult decision, but oftentimes the wisest business decision to make is to close down your business. Oftentimes. Yeah. And I've learned that, So failure itself is not, I won't tell you that failure is it's a bad thing. No, failure itself it's a way of life. It's a step in the ladder of life. So if you've tried something, today we don't have time for me to share some of the things that I've had to do, some of the things that has worked, some of the things that have not worked. But every single person that you see today who is successful and does not have a a failure story, you should be wary of their success. You should. Because oftentimes there's nobody that comes to life with a perfect blueprint laid out, that they execute that blueprint and there's no failure involved. There's no single person. Oftentimes, what people do is they have what looks like the blueprint of their life and they are moving. And in that movement, there are errors. So what you've experienced, sorry, maybe you've experienced failures, you've tried things, it doesn't work. It is a part of life. Now, what you now do to a phobia that has developed, because it's actually normal, you tried a couple of things, and because I've seen this happen, a couple of friends, they tried one business, it didn't work, they left their 9 to 5. They tried one business, it didn't work. They tried another one, it didn't work. They tried another one, it didn't work. They just went back to 9 to 5 and they just settled. Now, one of the things you will do for yourself is you must be, this is it's a an like you have to unpack that mentality first of all. That's the first thing. Understanding that failure is not because it's you, that's why you are failing. The smartest ideas, they fail oftentimes, so you unpack that mentality. The second thing is, and that's where association comes in, you have to insert yourself in a room or in a circle of people who are doing successful things, people who are audacious, people who are confident of the kind of, because phobia comes oftentimes from a place of doubt. So because you've done several things, you begin to doubt yourself, and then oftentimes you're thinking, oh, maybe it's because you don't have enough talent, enough capacity. Or but when you insert yourself in success rooms, sometimes you get to realize that some of these people who are successful are not actually more talented or skilled than you. Some of them are more tenacious. Some of them are more consistent. Some of them, they have refused to give up. And someone telling you don't give up is not a motivation, it's a life hack. Consistency, holding on, even when you failed a couple of times, going again to try. It's a life hack, because that's what separates the people that give up halfway and the people that get to meet their, get to their destination. So what I would say to you is, number one, first of all, unpack that mentality. Your failures are not always, even though you have to evaluate why didn't it work. There are lessons. Every failure story has a lesson to be learned. You pull out that data, and what's the data that failure is giving you? Is it telling you that, oh, you made the wrong choice in partnership, because businesses fail because of the partnership? Is it telling you that you made the wrong choice of launch? You launched at the wrong time. Is it telling you that you made the wrong choice of a product? The wrong product for the right market will not be successful. It's the right product, the right market. If you have the wrong product, if you have the right product, the wrong market, it won't work. You have the wrong product, it won't work. So you have to think about it. What are the lessons? Number one is you've unpacked that it's not peculiar to you. Failure is not peculiar to you. Number two, what are the lessons that this failure story is teaching me? What are the data that it's giving me? I'm pulling them out. I'm learning from them. Number three, you're inserting yourself in rooms of successful people, because then it's an energy. Failure is an energy, or should I say doubt itself is an energy. And negative energies are powerful, guys. Negative, and it's the reason why sometimes when you get into a room, two people, they are sad, they are mourning, sometimes you start crying without, you might not even be too close to the person, but because people around you are crying, they are exuding negative energy, you just join them to start crying. It's the same with success. When you put yourself in a room of positive energy people, it impacts your passion in life, it impacts your enthusiasm, or it impacts your capacity to wake up each morning feeling ready to go to at life. That's number three. Number four thing that I'm going to say is you have to try it again, but this time you're not trying it as a novice, because that's what failure does to you. If you try something and you fail, if you want to do it again, you are not doing it again as a novice, because you've already learned. And it's the same thing that happens in relationship. Of people in relationship, you have a failed relationship, you have another relationship about to start, you already have lessons learned. And it makes a lot of people worry, because they are looking at, oh, does this person have the red flags that I saw in this person and ignored, all of that. But you have to go again, try again, because you are not a novice anymore. You are now someone with a track record doing all of that. So that's just what I just 4 points to answer that question. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gift. Thank you
My
so much.
pleasure.
Thank you for
My pleasure.
sharing with us. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to show up today and to share all of this with us. Under my blessing, I trust that your question was answered, and now you have clarity on what to do next. I'm rooting for you. All right, so we are going to have another session, and this is going to be the final session. We would have a session with Mr. Osita James, and this is going to be like a like a QA session. So we will just get to have conversations. I would ask him question, he gets to respond, and we will just take the conversation on from there till we call it an evening. So let's get ready to welcome Mr. Osita James. He'll be talking about the how we can position for global opportunities. You know, if you have been taking note of each of the sessions so far, there has been a consistent theme. And that consistent theme has been how we can become future ready, how you can become future ready, from the future of work to building a future bigger than your beginnings, up until this session that we would have now on being future ready, just so that you can position yourself for global opportunities. And we are going to be having Mr. Osita James come on stage with us. So Mr. Osita James is the managing partner at Black Crest, a startup focused law firm that has advised founders who raised a cumulative of $20 million since 2021. He was called to the Nigerian bar in 2018 and has a postgraduate diploma in technology and entrepreneurship from the prestigious Nigerian University of Technology and Management, NUTM, under a fully funded scholars program for young entrepreneurs and innovators in Africa. He built two startups, Surgent and Flourish Opportunities Network, FON, before getting a fully funded Chevening Scholarship to study for a Master's in Innovation Management and Entrepreneurship at the Nottingham Business School. Mr. Osita serves as a startup legal operations mentor with Because International, a non-profit supporting startups in Africa through a biannual accelerator. He is also the founder of The Profitable Lawyer, a consulting outfit training lawyers on how to build a profitable law practice in Africa. Mr. Osita brings his experience building several startups to Black Crest approach to serving startup founders across Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome on stage Mr. Osita James. Please put your hands together as we make welcome on stage Mr. Osita James. And while we're waiting for Mr. Osita to join us, this is a great time for you to send your questions in the chat room. This is a great time for you to put your questions down in the chat room, because this is going to be a Q&A session. Mr. Osita has come and is ready to answer our questions. Good evening, Mr. Osita. It's such an honor to have you here today. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and for taking out time to join our meeting today, to join the day one of the conference.
Thank you so much, Adetola. The pleasure is all mine. Very excited to be here. Jane is one of my mentees, the convener of the conference. So I'm very proud of the work that she's doing, and I'm happy to support your community.
Amazing. Thank you so much, sir. That's so great to hear. All right, so like I said earlier, please put your questions in the chats. Just drop questions that you have in the chat. In the meantime, I am going to get started by asking some questions that I have curated for Mr. James to respond to.
Okay.
So we're talking about how to get. Okay,
No, that's all
you're
right.
saying something.
That's all right.
All right,
No, that's
fine.
all right.
Thank
Let's
you.
go.
Okay. So we're talking about how to get future ready, how you can position for global opportunities. So the first question I have, Mr. Osita, would be this. What does being future ready mean to you in today's world of work? What would you say a future ready person looks like?
So in the in the AI dispensation, and the way that work is done now is very different from how work used to be. Um, what you find is that the skill sets that some of us have are not going to be relevant in the next 10 years. If all you've done is spend your time trying to go learn how to code, learn how to maybe do some technical skills, you're not going to be able to have a sustainable high income skill. over the next decade. And the reason for that is because of AI. AI can write code more efficiently than most engineers, right? Cloud can review documents faster than the most brilliant editors in the world. But what AI is yet to catch up with is human dynamics. So let me give you an example. So if someone were to, for example, tell me that they were very interested in working with our team, and the person came with their father or uncle, and the person was looking at me and looking away and saying, yeah, I'm very interested in working with your team. As a human being, my impression is that the person was being forced by their parent to come to the interview, not that the person actually wants to work with us. And so that's what I mean when I say human dynamics: body language, ability to understand people, ability to read cues, meaning from unspoken things. So those are things that are very difficult for AI to be able to replace. The reason for that is because it's biological, it's not linear, right? It's non-linear type of thinking. And those are things that AI cannot replicate, right? So your job as someone that wants to be ready for the future is to acquire skills that are difficult to replicate. Leadership is extremely difficult to replicate, because leadership is not just about, oh, we did the project well. AI can do the project. That's not the issue. But can AI manage the human beings that are involved in the project, keep them all motivated, and ensure that they not only do the work well, but that they bring their best foot forward? So that's dynamics, group dynamics. That's what they call it in psychology. And that's what most leaders know how to do. So you see, so the leadership skill of being able to manage people is something that will remain relevant even 20 years from now. Being able to manage people, leadership skills, things like interpersonal skills, things like writing, not writing like generic writing, but writing things that are supposed to like evoke certain type of emotion. So let's say, for example, you're president of Nigeria, and there have been challenges with the economy. The policies you created have put people in a lot of challenges. They are struggling with the price of food and the cost of living. Now, you can't ask AI to generate your speech. That would be a significantly bad idea, because AI thinks linear. So AI will feel like, oh, they're supposed to know that they're going through these challenges for the greater good. We're trying to build a better future, so we should all hold on. If you send that kind of speech, you come across as crass and someone that doesn't empathize with the realities of the people on ground. So the writing that evokes the right type of emotion is nuanced, and that's something that AI has not been able to catch up to, and is not likely going to be. Is because it requires an understanding, like a relational understanding of human emotion. I know this for a fact because I'm a writer. I've been writing for the last, I think, since 2012. I wrote fiction, I wrote essays, I wrote all sorts of things, blogs and articles and so on. So I understand this very well. And it's very difficult, because if it was like that, the university should stop hiring researchers. They should just get AI to do the work. That's not possible, right? Because there are certain nuances that only human beings know how to do as of now. Here's also the kicker. Nobody wants a robot to call them and be trying to do an interview for a research. How many of us want to be called by robots? No one. Absolutely no one. Right? People want people to ask them, oh, how is your family? How is your daughter? All those little things are the things that make us human. And the robot doesn't really care, because to it, it's just like, oh, there's a conversation. So it's a time stated for the conversation. So we have the conversation. There are nuances, right? Sometimes there are topics that you bring up and you notice that the other person is not comfortable. And then you change the topic because you've noticed the other person is not comfortable. So these things are not easy to learn. If I'm being honest, it's easier to learn how to code and just learn how to do the technical things than to learn this, because it requires significant patience. To understand that you have a very brilliant team member that is a very good lawyer, knows all the laws, but the person just has something going on. Maybe it's their family, maybe it's her uncle, maybe it's her father, maybe the father is not feeling fine, something like that. For you to be able to empathize and say, you know what, I think you should take some time off, right? Because the person may not request for the time off, but a good leader should know if there's something wrong with any of their team members, because you're observing, you're noticing that their body language is different, that they're showing up a bit tired, or they're showing up with less energy than they used to. So it means caring. It is much more difficult to care than it is to just focus on, oh, I'm on my laptop, I'm writing one copy, or I'm writing one code. It's easier to do that. I'm being honest with you. It's easier to do that, because you're not interacting with anybody. You don't have to be patient with anybody. You write the code, you get it right, the code runs, right? So you don't have to be patient. You don't have to listen. You don't have to try to understand, even if the person is not telling you exactly what. But guess what? Those are the skills that will outlast the AI revolution. Those are the skill sets. So you need to learn to take a breather. You need to learn to be patient. You need to learn to listen. Listen to other people. Because people love being listened to, but they don't know how to listen to other people. So you need to learn how to listen to other people. You need to learn how to read body language. It doesn't mean that you become an expert like a psychologist. No, that's not your field. But if someone is uncomfortable, you should be able to tell that the person is uncomfortable, because it requires empathy. You're looking at the person, you're looking at their facial expression, you're looking at their hand movement, because someone might be smiling, but if you look at their hand, you can tell that they're not comfortable. Okay? So these are skills that are difficult to replicate by machines and automated systems. So if you learn these skills, you would always have a place in the coming age. So I'll stop here, because I'm sure we have other questions so that we can address the rest of them.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much for sharing that, sir. So I have another question for you before I get to read from the chat. And my question is
Okay.
this. Now that you've established these soft skills that we need to
Yeah.
learn in order to become future ready, I would like a balance of hard skills too. What are the top skills that you believe that young people need to develop in this day and time in order for them to become competitive in the job market?
Hard skills. So hard skills will depend on the industry that you're trying to go into. So I'm a lawyer, so I have a preference, or maybe I have a leaning towards like the hard skills that you need for legal, right? But hard skills include things like data analytics, being able to analyze data. And this applies to everyone, whether you're a lawyer, a computer engineer, or even someone that does communication, right? Because sometimes when you send out your copies or your emails, you want to be able to come back and check how many people clicked on it, how many of them responded, how many opens, like how many people opened the email and things like that. So that basic data analysis, very, very important. Project management. I think everyone should know how to do project management to a certain degree. You don't have to be like an expert, maybe Obama, Steve Jobs, maybe not that, but you should be able to say that we started working on this campaign. Let's say you're a marketing person. We slated the timeline for 4 weeks. We did A in week 1. This was the result we got. We improved Y, and this was the results that we saw by the second week. And by week 3, we did this. These are the number of people that, engage on one of our products, on one of our posts. So you should be able to do basic project management, because if you have that as a skill, it's always going to be transferable across all industries, right? As lawyers, maybe you have a case, client has given you a case, and we want to close out the case in a year. So we have to go to court, we have to draft the documents, we have to get people to collect their statement on oath. So all those type of things, they are activities that are still part of a wider legal project management. So it depends on your industry, but it still applies to everyone. So graphic design. Now, you're not supposed to become like maybe a UI UX designer working for Apple. We're not saying that everybody will be like that, right? Or that you're working with Figma or working with Adobe. We're not saying that you have to be that good, but you should be able to do basic graphic designs. For example, I create a lot of my slides. Like a lot of the slides that we were using at my law firm for like the first 2 years of operation, I created them myself. I created the template myself, right? We have Canva. Canva is a free tool, right? If you want a more premium version, you can pay for it, but it's a free tool. So you can use Canva templates, play around with the font, play around with colors, or even decide to go minimalist, do a minimalist design. But it's important that you do. Very, very important that you do. These things make a difference because sometimes maybe you have a presentation and you don't have time to wait for the person you want to pay to get it done, and you are the one that knows what you want to present. So if you know how to do graphic design, in an hour or two, you can put together 10 slides or 15 slides and send out, right? So maybe you're working in an organization and your boss wants to go pitch something, or they invited him to a speaking engagement, and your boss did not even remember till the last day, and the speaking engagement is tomorrow. If he gets one of these designers to try to do it, they might charge him a lot of money because they feel like it's express work. So to build relationship and also show that you're capable, you can just tell him, oh, just give me your talking points, and you put something together in like an hour or two using Canva, right? Because most of them, they're in the generation that were using PowerPoint, and PowerPoint is very stressful to use. It's easier to use Canva. So everyone, I repeat, everyone should know how to do basic graphic design, okay? Then things like digital marketing. Again, you don't have to be like a big expert, but you should know what is email marketing. You should know how to create an account on MailChimp or ConvertKit and be able to add some of the emails and send out emails to people that are in your network. You should be able to do things like that. It's basic, right? And you control your audience. Things like the LinkedIn newsletter feature, you should be able to use something like that, right? Just to have a way of creating visibility for your brand. In the 5 years that we've run Blackcrest, we've not paid once for visibility, but people attend our events. We've been hosting Founders Meet and Chat since 2025, and we are currently in the 5th version now, and we've never paid anyone for ads. How do we do it? We started posting on our LinkedIn page. We grew it to over 2,500 followers, and we also started email marketing. We have a founders community on WhatsApp, like 100 founders. So we created those things ourselves. It was because I already had like a knowledge of digital marketing. So I was now telling the team, oh, we should do this. Let's do this. People would probably join the group from there, founders. So that's how we did it. And I was even liaising with the guy that was doing the design to ensure that he was following our branding, like our brand guide, so that there's consistency in brand communication. So again, you don't have to be like the big expert, but sometimes when you're starting out, you don't have 500,000 to 1 million naira to go pay experts to come and do it for you. Sometimes when you're starting out, I'm speaking realistically, it's not all of us that have that kind of money, right? So it means that if you already have these skills, you can get started, even if you don't have like the resources to bring in the experts, right? Then AI intelligence. AI tools, being able to use like some basic AI tools, it's very necessary, especially in the modern age. We're not saying use cloud or ChatGPT to write your LinkedIn post. Please do not do that. You come off sounding like a robot, right? But you should be able to use it to correct your grammar. You should be able to use it to give you like content ideas. You should be able to use it to do a lot of things, right? So things like coming up with speaking, like let's say you want to be hosting TikTok lives or Instagram lives on a weekly basis. So you can use cloud to give you some ideas. We're not saying use cloud to create the content that you will talk about, no. But you can use to give you like pointers. Okay, so what topics can I focus on? So if it gives you some ideas and you can refine it and then put it in your calendar, you can even tell it to create like an Excel sheet that you can then put those things you want to be talking about over the week. And you can tell it to say like keywords that you can target, that you can put as hashtags on TikTok, so that people that are interested in that topic can see your content. So the idea is that in this modern age, especially if you're a young person, if you're 25 years and below and you don't know how to use AI, like a lot of employers may not be interested in working with you, because one of the things that you bring as a young person, as a Gen Z or Gen Alpha, is that you literally are the generation that knows how to use those things the most. So if you've not started using it, start today. Do random prompts, watch YouTube videos on how to use it to do different things, improve digital marketing, improve visibility, even improve personal brand. You can use it to do a lot of things, right? So I think that's very essential. Adetola, I think I'll stop here so that I can take other questions as well. Jane, nice of you to join
All
us.
right. All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir. So let's
you
just go on to the
so much.
questions. Let's go on to the
Okay.
questions that we have in the chat. Onome Blessing is
Okay.
asking, what is one mistake employees make when applying for a job? And what are the things HR bodies look for when reviewing CV? And what are ways for one to stand out? Three questions. Mistake employees make when applying. What does HR look out for when they are reviewing job applications? And how can you stand out amongst the thousands of applications that the HR personnel have to review?
Okay. So like the major mistake that people make when applying for a job is to not read about the organization and what they actually do. That's like the most common one, where someone just applies because they're just shooting their shot. Please don't do that. You will come off very unserious. You come off very unserious. Like earlier in the year, we're trying to hire 3 lawyers to join our team at Blackrest, and one of them joined the call. We actually, like, we saw her CV. Her CV was great, and then we invited her to an interview, and then we started asking her questions about the startup ecosystem, because we are very startup focused at Blackrest. We've supported over 200 founders since we began the firm in 2021. So, and she didn't know some of the basic things that an average startup lawyer would know. That was the problem. And then we asked her to tell us what she knows about Blackrest. And she was like, yeah, that they're, a young law firm that works with young lawyers. And I was like, okay. That was where we sort of lost interest in the entire conversation. So research the company, research the organization, research their founders. Like, for example, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very popular on LinkedIn. I have almost 10,000 followers. So if she had bothered to research me, she would have seen that for the past 4 years, most of the things I've been writing, even the newsletter, is around startups. And she might even have made reference to my newsletter, and that would have piqued my interest, because it will show that, oh, she researched me. So always try and research the organization. That's number one mistake. The second mistake is to assume that your CV alone is going to give you the job. So your CV gets you in the door for interviewing, right? But what will actually give you the job is alignment with the core values of the organization. So always try to find out what the core values of the organization is. For example, our core values at Blackrest, are innovation, excellence, and client-centeredness. Now, if from the conversation we're having with you, you're showing us innovation, you're showing us client-centeredness, and you're showing us excellence, like a habit of excellence across all the work that you do, you're already aligned. You're already aligned. And this will still hold regardless of your grade. If you have good grades but you're not able to show us alignment with our core values, we're not going to take you. So that's one thing that also young people need to understand. A lot of young people, we need to understand that it's not enough to just have a good CV, to have good grades. Good grade gets you in the door for the interview. But what will actually give you the job is alignment. You need to research the leaders of the organization well. For example, my trajectory was not, oh, I work at a law firm and then I started my law firm. That's not my trajectory. I studied law at UNN, did law school, went for service, built some libraries over there, won the NYSC State Award for Community Development Project. Then I came back, I started Flourish Consult to support young people that were applying for jobs and internships. After reviewing 400 CVs, I decided to expand it to FON to accommodate, a wider vision of how we can help Africans access opportunities at scale. And so after that, I then went into tech. I studied at Nigerian University of Technology and Management, did a diploma in technology and management. Then I went for my master's in the UK after I got Chevening. So my trajectory is not straightforward, right? And what is the defining feature of this type of trajectory is resilience. It is not easy for a lawyer that just knows law to switch from law to tech. It is not easy. And one of the reasons why I got the scholarship to go to Nigerian University of Technology and Management, co-sponsored by MasterCard Foundation, to study for a diploma in technology and management, was because I told them about my experience in Jigawa and how I came there, saw that a lot of the children were struggling to read and write. So I started creating libraries to support them. So it was more like I saw a problem, I identified the problem, and then I started taking a step towards solving the problem. That's the hallmark of leadership. You don't wait for titles, you don't wait for position, you just see a problem and you start solving it. And it's also the reason why, there's a lot of problem in the country, because a lot of the leaders are not really leaders. They are just people occupying position. Real leaders are people that see problems and start trying to solve it. They're not people that run for office to occupy positions. Okay? So if, for example, someone came to an interview and they showed me that they had significant leadership traits, I'm not even talking about achievement, because everybody is different, right? It's not everybody that will go to a state and build libraries for 8 secondary schools. Our bands are different. Our capacities are also different. Just like Jane is doing the big conference, right? And you may not be able to do the big conference, even if you tried. So our capacities are different. But the point is, we should be able to see, if you can show me that you're the type of leader that is resilient and that you're not the type of person that will quit just because something got difficult. If you can show me that, even if you had a tutu, I'm more likely to hire you. So that's also the point. You need to understand the profile of the leader. If you can understand that, you already have a cheat code. All you need to do is show that you align, and the person will be the one telling others that this person is the right person for the team. So that's how it works. So what the HR is usually looking out for are usually very standard, maybe good grades, because they signal for discipline, good grades. They look out for a bit of work experience that is aligned with the role that is being advertised. So you need to make sure that your work experience is aligned with the role that is advertised, right? Then the third one is you need to show like a level of experience over a period of time. So assuming that the role requires 1 year experience, if you have 2 instead of 1, you're already overqualified. So that gives you an edge, for being shortlisted. Because usually you shortlist first, then you interview before you then select. So if you want to be shortlisted, try and make sure that you either meet the criteria that is in the job advertised description, or you exceed the criteria. So those are 2 things. Okay, because sometimes even before you get the opportunity to like really show why you're different from the other applicants, your CV will screen you out even before you get there. So that's why it's important that you include those fundamentals: your grade, your work experience, show that you're aligned with the job description, include some skills that make you stand out, things like AI, maybe you've done some analysis, maybe if it's for a law role, maybe you've written some legal articles or you've interned in some big brands, all those type of things. They can help you stand out. So, and also try as much as possible, even if you don't know how to do it, speak to someone else that is working with a top firm. Like if it's for a law role, ask them to send their CV. If it's an engineering role, speak to someone that is an engineer in a top firm, ask them to send their CV to you. So just model your own CV after their own. If you go for an interview, like if you apply, you'll be shortlisted most of the times. Because if that CV was good enough to get them in and they're working in a top place, the likelihood that you will be shortlisted to most of the other organizations is very high. So that's how to do it. I hope I've been of help so far.
Yes, sir, you have been of great help. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. Please, we have a feedback form for today's session, and it has been dropped in the comment section. So please do well to fill out the feedback form. Thank you so much, everybody. Mr. Osita, I have one other question for you. I would like you
Yeah.
to please share how young people can position for global opportunities. How can young people position themselves and even attract global opportunities?
That's a big one. It's a packed question. Yeah, it's a very packed question. But I will attempt it. So there are so many things that you can do, right? But I will tell you some of them that we can fit into the time slot because I'm sure that before Adetola will start telling me you have 5 minutes more. So I think that the easiest one you can start doing is to reflect on your life and what you want to do. Most of the times, the reason why you're not accessing global opportunities is because you're not aligned with what you really want. Also, this is interesting because for those of us that are Christians, there's a part that talks about like being very clear about what you want to do. Because when you have clarity, you're not confused when you're praying to God about what you want because there is one thing and it's very specific. Okay, and then when you also have one thing, there's a clarity for that one thing that you want to accomplish. You can also streamline your efforts towards that one thing. So mental clarity is for me the starting point of being able to access global opportunities. Mental clarity. Then the second thing is a conviction that is stronger than the rock of Gibraltar. If you like, you can research that. You can browse it on Google. I know we are a generation of Google and what's it called, AI. So if you like, you can research that. Your conviction about what you want to do has to be stronger than the rock of Gibraltar. The reason why I emphasize that your conviction has to be strong is because for most of us, we have boundless possibilities of the things that we can do. Adetola can be an ambassador to Nigeria. She can be a minister. She can be a governor in her state. She can be a CEO of Nestle, Cadbury. She can be anything, right? But she can't be all of them at the same time. That is the problem. That's the ultimate human conundrum. I can be anything, but only one thing at a time. So it means that if I am making this choice to follow this path, to do this one thing at this point in time, I need to be 100% sure that this is what I want to do. If not, when something else that looks like a bigger or more exciting opportunity comes along, guess what will happen? I will jump. Our parents were more fortunate in that regard. They were more fortunate. It is only in our parents' generation that you can see someone that's worked with a bank for 30 years. How many of us are aspiring to work anywhere for 30 years? Right. Yeah, I thought as much. So our generation is different. We want it fast. Even 5 years is too long. Like, what am I doing here? Where's the next big thing? And that's not bad because in fact, research shows that job hopping increases your salary. You can quote me on that. Job hopping actually increases your salary. Because if you left from here to here, you were able to get into the other place because you provided a lot of value in the other place. So you're optimizing for the highest impact within the shortest period of time. So if you had a very high impact in the previous organization, you renegotiate your salary going up to the other organization. So you earn higher, job hopping. So don't get me wrong, you earn higher. It is beneficial. I like to be honest. So it is very beneficial to job hop. But from an impact point of view, you will never be able to stay long enough to become significantly influential, to be able to change things at scale. I am of the opinion, because I'm a youth leader, I have mentored a lot of young people that are out there doing things. So I am of the strong opinion that our lives are meant to be optimized for impact, not profit. And that when we make enough impact, profit comes as a consequence of impact. And I can prove it to you. The richest men in the world are often the most impactful. Dangote controls cement, spaghetti, sugar. Without Dangote's industry, how would you be building your house? How would your father have built his house? How would he have? Dangote's refinery is what is even helping the fuel price to stay stable in Nigeria. If Dangote didn't invest in a refinery, we're going to be spending almost 2,000 to 3,000 on fuel, because the price of fuel will be determined solely by the global prices. Do you see? So the most impactful are usually the richest in the world. Elon Musk is more impactful than your father. That is the reality. It's a global fact. Did your father create Starlinks? Did your father create Twitter? When you did NSAS, was it your father's platform that they used to do it? No, I'm saying these things because I like to be brutally honest, so that we can all recalibrate and rethink these things. Your life optimized for impact is ultimately more useful than a life optimized for profit. Because guess what? Your profit has a cap. It has a limit. There's a ceiling to the amount of profit that you can make by just optimizing your life for profit. But when your life is focused on impact, there is no limit to what you can achieve. There is no limit. Love or hate Elon Musk, you cannot take it away that he was the one that created Starlinks. You can't take it away from him. You can't. Love him or hate him, you can't take away that electric vehicles are a global phenomenon because of Tesla. You can't take that away from him, whether you hate him or you love him. You can't take it away. Bill Gates created Microsoft. The reason why all of us are able to have like a desktop, laptops in our homes all over the world, you can't take it away from him. And it was because of that impact. Do you know what the impact of Microsoft is? Every child everywhere in the world can get a laptop and access internet and learn because of the work that Bill Gates did how many years ago? So as young people that are the leaders of today, not even the leaders of tomorrow, your job is how can I create so much impact that even my children's children will be hearing about the work that I did when I lived. Your job is not how to optimize to get the higher paying job. Some of us want that, and that's great. But I'm telling you, it's a very limited way of thinking. And most people that are like that, they never achieve anything significant in their lifetime. Who are the people you know? Who are the people you know? You likely know who owns Zenith Bank, don't you? Adetola, do you know who owns Zenith Bank? Do you know who started it? Do you know who owns UBA? Do you know who owns Sterling Bank? Do you know who owns Stanbic IBTC? We know them because their lives were impactful. They created banks that have solved problems for millions of families in the country. For millions of families. It's up to you. If you want to live a life of mediocrity, I am not the person to speak to. I'm sorry. Getting a job is not mediocre. Also, let me correct that impression. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you should not optimize your life for profit. Optimize your life for impact. When you do that, the kind of money you have, there is nobody in your generation that has ever seen that kind of money. Mark my words. And the funny thing is that you will not even need the money. You would not. You will just see it as more resources to do more impact in the lives of other people. That's how you're going to see it. In all honesty, that's how you're going to see it. So yeah, if you job hop, you make more money because you get paid higher salary. But if you optimize for impact, then you get to make even more money because of the amount of value that you're creating in the system. But I just wanted to say this because I'm very passionate about seeing a new Nigeria. Jane knows all about this. Let me go back to what we were discussing, which is how do you access global opportunities, right? And I've mentioned mental clarity, being very clear about what you want to achieve. And then I've mentioned having the relevant conviction to stick to the choice. I've had a conviction since 2018 during law school. My job is to solve poverty in Africa at scale. Every single thing I've done since then is to build the capacity to be able to do it at scale. I've been working at FON. We've been helping people get access to opportunities because ultimately, if people have more opportunities, they have more resources to support their families, right? Support their siblings and so on. But that's still not the scale that I want it at. So I'm doing a PhD now at McGill in the UK, in Canada. And the goal is to build a research background so that I can build like our version of ChatGPT that will use local data so that everybody everywhere in Africa can ask questions like, oh, how do I build a law firm like Blackrest? And they can get tangible responses that can actually help them, not generalized responses, but tangible responses that can actually make a difference in their lives. Someone is asking a question of, oh, where do we live? We just got married. We're new in Lagos or we're new in Ibadan. Where do we live? We want data that can tell them if you live in this location, based on your family income, you can save 500,000 every year in rent. There is no platform in Africa today that can do that. And the reason why nobody has done it is because it's extremely difficult to do. And it requires someone that is not doing it because they want to make money. It requires someone that is convicted that if I can do this, the lives of millions of people will change forever. And that's the point I'm making. Impact creates value. And when you have value, money naturally follows value. That's how it works. So your conviction needs to be strong. Then number 3, you also need to start looking out, researching areas of opportunities in the area that you've decided that you're interested in. So when I decided that I was interested in solving poverty at scale, I looked at myself. I said, what skills do I have? The biggest skill I had at the time is writing. But since then, I've acquired leadership, business consulting, and a lot of other things. But it was writing that I had because I was writing fiction since 2012. I edited several journals. I've published in top literary journals. I've done a lot of things in writing. So I decided to start a writing company to start reviewing essays, reviewing CVs, because I was already good at writing, right? So again, I'm saying it because some of us, we have different things. Maybe for you, you're very good at speaking. So you can start doing speaking engagements, or you can be like Adetola and moderate events, impactful events like this, which by the way, she can include in her Chevron application if she decides to apply. She can say that she moderated an event that created impact for thousands of young Africans. So it starts with this little thing. Sometimes a lot of people don't even know that the things they are doing is impactful, and there are things that someone will be willing to give them a scholarship for. Okay? So if you attend events like this, right, in your own community, you can tell Jane that, okay, I have a community in Ibadan, or I have a community in maybe Benin, or I have a community in what's sort of state, Makodi, Benue. Can we create like an event where young students in this university can learn how to do CV review and all of that? So you can reach out. And if Jane agrees, for example, then you guys do it in collaboration. But when that event is done and people have gotten impacted, maybe you uploaded the video to YouTube, you can write about it and say that, oh, in an essay that you're using to apply for a scholarship, that you created this event, partnered with this person to impact the lives of others. So the summary of what I'm trying to say is that impact doesn't have to be, oh, I was Dangote's daughter, so I gave scholarship to 1,000 people. We are not all at the same level, and that is okay. All right? And that is okay. Guess what? Because Jane is my mentee and she has done this kind of event, if Jane decides to apply for Chevening, I can write a recommendation because I've followed her work over time. Do you see? So getting yourself a mentor that is following your work is important. Because tomorrow the person can say, I have watched Adetola's work over the last 3 years. She is a young leader that I am proud to recommend for this scholarship. She hosted this event, she did this one, she did that one. She created a platform that helped over 500 to 1,000 students that were in this university to get jobs while they were in school. I can say that for Jane because I followed her work. So let us also know that as much as your vision is clear and you now have clarity and conviction, you also need to look out for opportunities in the area that you're interested in and try and get a mentor that is going to be able to speak to the work that you're doing. And the beautiful part is that if your mentor is already someone that's gotten other scholarship, they can trust his judgment because he's friends with other people that have also won scholarships. So if he's saying that this person is a great candidate, it's easier for them to trust his judgment. Because I have a colleague of mine that we started FON together. She went on to do other things in Abia State. And when she was applying to Chevening, I was one that wrote a recommendation. And I was already a Chevening scholar at the time. But I was one that wrote a recommendation letter. So let's bear it in mind. You need people to recommend you. When it comes to scholarships and applications like that, you need people. And even if you're trying to get like a global opportunity, like a global job or internship, you still need recommendation. You still need someone that can speak to your abilities. So for some of us that are very young now, maybe you're 22, 23, when you go for internships, don't burn the bridges. Don't go there and behave anyhow. Come late to work, submit your task late, and feel like it's not just an internship. Besides, my father already gave me a job. Don't do that. Your father can't write you a recommendation. Nobody will accept it. Just in case you did not know, your father can't write you a recommendation. Nobody's going to accept it. Not unless the person that owns the scholarship is his friend. Nobody's going to accept it. But the person that supervised you at work can write you a recommendation. Are we together? They can write you a recommendation. They can say, I worked with this person on this project. You know, she contributed. She was very hardworking. She was very diligent. Okay? So let's be very mindful with the way that we behave in the workplace. Let's be very mindful with the way that we behave when we're volunteering in an organization. Because even the person that you're volunteering in their organization can also write you a recommendation. Because of what Jane has created, Jane can write recommendations for people. She can. Yes, she can say that, oh, when I started the B.I.G Conference in 2025 or 2024, I worked with Adetola and we did this, we impacted this number of people. I strongly recommend her for the program. She can. Okay? So, but I don't want us to try to do things because we're trying to position for opportunities. I want us to do things because they impact the lives of others. I'm making this emphasis because I have not done things because I was trying to get scholarship. I have done things because they were impacting the lives of others. So the scholarships came as a result of the work that I was doing. They did not come because I was trying to do agenda and position. That's politics. I was not trying to position. I was trying to help. I did not get the Jigawa State NYSC State Award because I was trying to look good. I got it because I saw a problem and I was trying to help the students to do better. I'm saying it because the distinction matters. The first line in my Chevening essay was that leadership means a commitment to the right values. That was the first line. And then I explained, I said, in 2018, I had a job offer in Lagos. I had a job offer, right? But I was posted to Jigawa for my NYSC. Now, under the NYSC Act, that's the law that governs NYSC, there are only two reasons why you can move your posting. You're married and your husband is in a state where you also reside. So you cannot leave your husband and go. And the second reason is that you're sick. You're not feeling fine. So you need to be in that state so that your doctor can continue to administer treatment. Those are the only two reasons. You can go and check. And so I said that leadership to me means commitment to the right values. I had a job offer and a choice to either pay a bribe to somebody and be posted to Lagos to enjoy the job, or to go to Jigawa and face uncertainty. I chose to go to Jigawa, full stop. That was the first paragraph. I need you to understand that a commitment to doing the right thing is the only way that we can create a country and a continent that we're proud of. We can't constantly berate our current leaders, but we are exactly like them. If there is no difference in your life and the life of the people that you're criticizing, then you're just a loud voice, a clanging cymbal. That's how the Bible puts it, a noisy gong and clanging cymbal. You have no love in you. You are not an example. Nobody, you're not worthy of emulation. You're not an example. You're just another noisemaker that's probably making noise so that they'll put something in your pocket so that you keep quiet.
Yes.
And now somebody
Yes.
come back and start saying they're doing it right. I support them.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many of them. So positioning for global opportunities is about aligning yourself to the things that will create the most impact in the lives of others. And when you do that, I promise you, so many doors will open. So many doors will open. I came here, they were telling me about a provincial scholarship that I could still apply for in addition to my current funding. And I spoke to people and they shared their proposal with me that could help me also replicate my own. I asked them once. I didn't ask them twice. I asked once and they sent it. Why did they send it? Because all my life, since 2019, at FOM, we've been doing so many different initiatives to support people. We even started a scholarship scheme in 2023. Jane is aware of this. We've helped over 50 people get tuition scholarship in different universities all over Nigeria, in addition to inviting scholars to share their stories and things like that. And so when I am in a position where I need help, I know that God will provide help because I have lived a life where I've helped so many other people. So many other people, and I never asked for anything in return. I wasn't helping them because I want them to give me money. I wasn't helping them because I think they will be contacts tomorrow. I was helping them because it's the right thing to do. And that should be the mindset. Say, let's give an example. Someone is an architecture graduate that wants to access global opportunities. So let me use this as an example. So she identifies that she's interested in children, that she wants to help children learn, improve education, so that their outcomes, social outcomes, will be better when they grow up, right? So she already has that conviction. So first she goes to start researching opportunities in that field. She realizes that there are NGOs, right, that work with children. So she decides to volunteer with one of them so she can get into the space. She can volunteer for a year and then apply for a job in a school that is teaching children to learn about the education of children, pedagogy, that's the curriculum style and all of that. And then after doing that for a year, she then applies to Oxford to go and study a master's in children education. And that's possible, by the way. There are a lot of universities in the UK, US, Canada that offer those things, and they offer it on scholarship. And then because of her commitment to that other NGO that she worked in, that NGO's director then writes her a recommendation for the scholarship, and she gets it, right? But when she's done with the scholarship, she comes back to her home country to continue to support women and teach them how to raise their children to create those social outcomes. 2 years down the line, she gets to go do a PhD somewhere else, or even gets a job with an international NGO that is paying her in dollars while she can work remotely from anywhere she wants. And that's how life is. I don't want us to think about this thing from a linear perspective. Jane knows I'm not interested in talking to people that are opportunists. I'm not interested in talking to politicians, people that are looking for agenda. Oh, how do I game the system so I can pocket the opportunities for myself and for my family? I'm sorry, I'm not the person to speak to. I'm interested in people that are impact driven. How can I do this so that God, through how He has so empowered me, can help me empower others? It should never be self driven, it should always be impact driven. We are not here for ourselves. Human beings are the most stubborn creatures in the whole of creation. The trees are doing their job, they're providing oxygen for the
Yeah.
rest of the world. The table is doing its job, the chair is doing the job, even the car is created, is doing the job it's meant to do. It's only human beings that are not doing what they're created to do because they're stubborn, they are doing whatever they like. We're created to serve each other. Everything in creation is created to serve others. It is not created for itself. And if you like, you can go and do your research. There is nothing in the world today that is created for itself. Everything is created to serve a purpose that benefits other things. So if you want to become the type of person that attracts all these opportunities, align yourself with impact. And when you are doing that, of course, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Jane. We're always happy to help people that are impact focused. We're always happy to do that. So thank you so much for this question. I'm guessing there are other questions so that I don't dwell on this one. Yeah, Adetola, let's take other questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Oh,
so
yes,
much,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Aditola, can you speak, or should I just go ahead?
You can go ahead, Jane. All right,
Well,
thank
I
you so
think
much, sir. It was such a very impactful session. Thank you for being very elaborate in your response to the question and not hoarding anything. Thank you so much for sharing. Unfortunately, we will not be able to take some other questions because
okay.
we have run out of time. So we would have to draw
Okay.
a curtain here. I
Okay.
really appreciate your time. Thank you for showing up for us. Thank you for spending time out of your busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir. Really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Jane, would you like to speak up now? All right, so while we're waiting for Jane, if you haven't filled out the feedback form yet, please, it's very important.
Yeah.
Check the YouTube chat and fill out the
Yeah.
feedback
Thank you
form.
so much, sir. Thank you, because I was initially. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me speak?
I can hear you, Jane. Please go
I can hear you
ahead.
clearly.
Okay, I think it's Aditola's network. All right, so thank you so much, sir. I truly appreciate, and I must say that you inspire me with your moves. Even though I don't reach out as often, I'll do better now. But you inspire me with your moves, the opportunities you always position yourself for, and how you are always keen on learning, impact, and development. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate your time. We would have loved to learn more and listen more. I'm sure we'll have another session with you. Really
That's
look
all
forward
right.
to that. Well, right now, since we have the day two events, we would like for like many people to just be able to go tomorrow because it's already like moving towards 9 to 4 here. So thank you
Oh,
so much.
okay.
Thank you. And do have a lovely rest of the day.
All
Thank
right.
you. I will
All
share
right.
more
So,
feedback with you. Thank you, sir.
yeah, yeah, it was a
Yeah.
real
Bye.
pleasure. So, Jane, I've sent you a slide that you can share with your community. So, it's a small slide I put together for accessing
Oh, that's so
all
good.
the opportunities. Yeah. Adetola, you've been a sport. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
Thank you so much for coming on board. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you. It was such a pleasure.
All right. Enjoy the rest.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, with this, we have come to the end of day one of the B.I.G Conference 2026. Thank you all so much for staying through till the end. Thank you so much for staying till the end. And I'm looking forward to seeing every single person tomorrow. If you are in worry, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the day two of the B.I.G conference. And we are going to get started by 9 a.m. If you are not in worry, I want to see you online. We will be streaming live, and I'm looking forward to seeing you online. So really quickly, I would love for you to fill out the feedback form. You can scan the QR code that you can see on your screen, or you can use the link that was dropped in the comments. We'd like to get feedback from you, so please fill out the feedback form, and that will be it for today. I would pass the mic now to our convener, Miss Jane, to give us our closing remark, and then we would bid ourselves farewell. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for staying to the end. Like our moderator has said, please let's just celebrate our moderator. She's been so good. Adetola Ayodele. You can go and look for her on Instagram, on LinkedIn, buy her ice cream, buy her chicken. Just do something nice for her. So I'm trying to, while I'm looking down, I'm trying to share the venue details for tomorrow. For those of us that are joining us tomorrow, please. And first of all, the QR code to fill the feedback form is what is displayed on the screen. Kindly do so. Please, we really want your feedback so we can create more of these experiences. And we would love to share feedback with our speakers, and we truly need this for future experiences. So please just scan it and fill it. It's very, very short, or you can copy.
All right, so please just fill out the feedback form. We have a bit of
the
technical
You can
issue
copy
at
the
Jane's
link
end.
and fill it in less than 2 minutes.
Okay. All right, I want to believe that you are going on ahead to fill out the feedback form right about now. Please do so, and that would be all for today. Again, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. I want to see you in person if you're in Warri, Delta State. And if you are not in Warri, I would love to see you attend day two's session virtually. We would start by 9 a.m. Don't be late, no African time. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Jane, are you back up now? All right, so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Oma Sheye, I'm so sorry. Your
Yes,
question was
please,
not
I'm back.
answered. Okay, please go ahead.
Apologies. Okay, so for those that would be having Instagram. So you can just go to our Instagram page, B.I.G Conference Official, to get the directions. And there's a contact you can call. I'll type that now. You can chat on WhatsApp so you won't get missing. Of course, nobody will get missing in Jesus' name. So I'm dropping it here. Just chat up this number on WhatsApp for directions. But please fill out the feedback form, and I'm adding the venue direction to the station. So once anywhere you are, if you are at Japan Junction, if you are at anywhere Junction, anyway, just locate PTI Junction and head to Morfo Junction, like Morfo Junction. Yeah, I'm pronouncing it right. The venue is once you get to Morfo Junction, it's just a street there. So please, I would really love to see you tomorrow. And there's more. There is so much more tomorrow. We have amazing speakers. We have a pitch competition, and I will be unveiling something amazing. First of all, I'll be unveiling something I've been packaging for students, something I'll be packaging for students. I won't reveal it now till tomorrow. And a special offer from Stosu, getting you into our community and having you to experience more of these teachings and all these sessions that you've something like what you've experienced today. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I do hope you have a wonderful night rest. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. In fact, be at the venue by 8:30. I would love to see you by 8:30. All right, guys. Have a lovely, lovely night. Bye.